to score some drugs.
The question, how does one man assert power over another? Obedience is not enough. Power is inflicting pain and humiliation, otherwise you cannot be sure. Power is tearing human minds apart and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Power is not a means, it is an end. All competing pleasures we will destroy. If you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
I'd like one of you bureaucrats out there to look me in the eye and tell me, when does my husband's life matter to you? Because it matters every day, every second of every day to me.
Hola, ¿cómo está? How is everybody doing? This is the last weekday of my vacation. I took a week off of work. It wasn't really a vacation though. I had doctor's appointments and eye exams and dental exams, and I spent the day getting my oil changed in my car, and my AC in the house was on the fritz, so I had to wait for the AC guy. It's just been not a very restful vacation, but okay, we'll do it. At least I didn't have to go to work. But I see Mallory is here, and Tic Tac is here, and Omicidal's here, and Raj is here, and Michael Redfern is here. How the hell are everybody? How are you doing? We got some stuff. We're gonna talk some stuff, but let me say, I said earlier, Kevin confused me last week. He said he was going to be somewhere and he may not be home, but he's actually in the back room. He did make it. So Kevin is here. So, oh, look, Cerny is here. She hasn't been here in ages. Hey, Cerny. But hey, let me bring Kevin in.
Hey, Cerny.
Yeah. See, I like it when the new faces she's not new anymore, but she's not here every week. It's nice every once in a while to get a new face, a new perspective.
Tic Tac was in early tonight.
Yeah, he did. I think he already left though, because the numbers dropped. There were people and then there were less people. I don't know if I should even trust this counter over here. I don't know that it's actually factual. I don't know. I really don't care either, Kevin. If it was just you and me, we would still we'd still do this because it's fun. It's fun, regardless of whether you like me or not. It's right. Fun.
Yeah.
So how was your week? How was your week? I just told everybody how my week was. How was your week?
Quiet and almost uneventful. Almost. I went and saw my other brother Patrick though, so that's a good
thing. See, I that's one of the things right there. This thing on my face right here. I went to go see the doctor, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to send you to another guy to make sure that that's not skin cancer." So I may or may not have skin cancer.
But they removed it.
They just burn it off there, and then I'll have like I have like a funky mark there on the side of my head. But other than that, not too bad.
You still got a heart rate and all that?
The doctor was disappointed again. He's like, dude, you're fat, and I expect you to have like pre-diabetes and hypertension and high cholesterol. And he's like, your labs are perfect. How is this possible? And I'm like,
that's right. And you eat meat.
Beer. This is beer and meat right here. This is all this is,
Isn't it scary?
He's like, the only thing wrong with you is you need some more vitamin D3. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking a supplement for that. And he goes, it's not enough. You need more.
Well, there you go.
He says your vitamin D3 is a third of where it should be. He said, this is probably why you're always fatigued and tired and aching. Get some D3, man.
Do they have anything for bitchy?
No, actually,
No.
Actually, that's just a fact of life, permanent part of my nature.
Yeah.
But so are you getting used to the solitude and the quiet in your house, or
I'm kind of enjoying that. Yes. I can actually use the freaking bathroom when I wanna. I don't have to wait. Nobody's making messes but me, so Janice is officially blaming everything on me now, and I'm fine with that. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit, and nobody wants to know what's in my mail. It's a weird little click and tweak of life, but well, here, Dad, that looks like it's from. I don't understand that.
See, Tic Tac says he's at the library. I didn't even know he could read.
What's doing there, Paul?
Maybe he's getting books on tape or something.
Is he cruising again? Well, you never know. Looking for Tic Tacs.
He just called us fucking cunts or something.
Dickheads.
I can read you, dickheads.
We love Paul. He knows that.
We relatively like him. I don't know about love. I mean, so have you been on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? Are you in this thing called Twitter, Kevin?
I know this. I know of this Twitterified thing or Twitterfari or Fuckafari. Yeah. I heard that cigarettes are safe in the Australian outback now.
Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, but we're going to talk about Mark Butler right now. We're not going to get deep into the Aussie stuff until we get to the article about it. But and this is only because this is the starting point. Mark Butler's tweet is it's not the point of me bringing this up, but it is attached to this tweet. So let me present this for your edification.
We'll pretend we're using the Victor share screen, even though we're not.
Well, I'm actually not, but I have my own share screen. So this is a tweet from Mark Butler. He's a dumbass in Australia. He says, each day, 438 Australians are hospitalized with coronary artery disease. It's responsible for almost 1 in 10 deaths. Many Australians don't know they are at risk. Medicare heart health checks help to identify this risk. They're our best tool for preventing heart disease. So there's nothing invalid about this. Like, getting your heart checked out is pretty important. This doesn't really have anything to do with us, except for Clive. Clive decided he would poke the bear. He says, if only there was a convenient way to get people to quit smoking and reduce their risk for heart disease, something that would work for most of Australia's smokers, something that doesn't require public spending or punitive coercive measures, something that works if only. And then Stiv, this guy Stiv1.
Oh, wow.
Stiv1, if you look here, Stiv1 is he's got 255. He's following 255 people. Let's just go check out Stiv's profile for a minute.
A legend.
Stiv is a Vienna, Australia guy. He was been on Twitter since 2019, but this looks kind of fishy.
Huh.
And then if you scroll down, Stiv is talking about 22nd century cigarettes.
Huh.
There again, 22nd century cigarettes.
Huh.
Look, 22nd century cigarettes. 22nd century cigarettes. 22nd century cigarettes. Huh. I'm just scrolling here. That he retweeted that, but there he goes. 22nd century cigarettes. 22nd century cigarettes. Talking about weed. 22nd century cigarettes.
Oh, there they are.
So you guys get the idea that maybe he has an ultimatum or ulterior motives, and he's decided to jump on Clive's tweet here. Let's see. Let's scroll back up here. Yeah, he says, but Clive, they are called very low nicotine content cigarettes, and they contain 95% less nicotine and are proven scientifically to help smokers smoke less, up to breaking their nicotine addiction altogether. Oh, look, here's some research on the 22nd century website. Yeah, this is so he says all the toxins of cigarettes, none of the pleasure. Yes, that should work. And those trials bear no relation to what will happen in a real marketplace where people have to pay for stuff. Just look at what's happening to VLN sales in 22nd century test markets, cratering.
Yeah.
So Stiv says, I don't think we need to argue if it's better or even if it's better and even healthier to break or maintain an unnecessary addiction. VLN helps break the addiction. Obviously, from a financial perspective, transitioning to VLNs and later quitting smoking in any form is cheaper for the consumers. So I did have to ask, even healthier? I said, even 22nd century admits that their cigarettes contain the same carcinogens at the same levels as other cigarettes. The only thing different is that they have less nicotine. Nicotine is not the cause of disease and death in cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Crickets.
Wow. Huh. Were you blocked? Well, no, you weren't blocked because you.
No, I'm not blocked because Stiv. But yeah, you see these guys. Even when the conversation is not about them, they're going to try to make it about themselves.
Well, now we've done that too, so just in case.
Well, that's true. It's okay when I do it. It's okay when I do it.
We have, but it's usually within the context, not out of completely.
Oh yeah, that was completely
out of component. Yeah,
that was complete. That guy's and I think he's just stalking Clive,
right?
To just tag themselves onto any conversation that Clive is having.
It's like a battle of wits with my son and I. There usually isn't one necessarily, but it's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
Wanker. It'll be all right.
Clive, so Mallory just retweeted a Twitter show from a couple weeks ago.
All right.
The Basement Tweeters show. That was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I guess I should go to my profile and pin tonight's live show.
All right, fine.
Instead of there now. Now Mallory wants to retweet. She can retweet the show that's titled Stripped, because that's tonight. We're going to talk about stripping again. That's one of the things we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So
I used you as an example yesterday and today, I think.
Well, I see that the Caleb video, that thing is just, I can't get rid of it, man. It's just always there.
It's an excellent example of a bad example of an excellent example that you have, right? Can't help myself sometimes.
Yeah, Troop is late, he says. Troop is late. I didn't even notice. I'm just so used to Troop being late. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Super Trooper. Yeah. So let's see. Did you see, speaking of child abuse and exploitation, Kevin?
Yeah.
This is a story. Let's see. This story says this North Carolina high school will close half of its restrooms after disruptions caused by vaping. So, I don't know if you remember this, Kevin, but we talked about a study recently or a thing recently where they were criticizing the security measures at that school in Florida where the shooter came, because all the bathrooms were locked and the kids had fewer places to hide. Yeah, I remember that. But anyway,
Yeah.
so this says Leesville Road High School is shutting down half of its restrooms for the rest of the school year because so many students are setting off fire alarms by vaping in the bathrooms.
Y'all
The
need
Raleigh
to quit doing that.
Yeah, the Raleigh. Well, obviously the teachers also need to monitor their children, and when they're not, back very soon,
Still vaping kids.
They probably should go do their jobs. But and the Raleigh High School has dealt all school year, with the disruption of fire alarms going off because of vaping. In a message Monday to parents, Leesville Road Principal Ian Solomon said the school is shutting down multiple restrooms because none of the other steps it has used has curbed the alarms. Maybe controlling the students and the number of kids in the classroom, but maybe I'm crazy, Kevin. Am I crazy? As a result, effective today, we will be closing half of the restrooms on campus for the remainder of the year to reduce the number of spaces that we have to monitor. With more than 2,600 students that attend Leesville Road High School, this step is one that I have tried to avoid given the ramifications that this decision will cause. However, with end of the year testing and graduation related events occurring, this course of action must be explored in tandem with our teachers continuing to get up a point of their planning periods the remainder of the year to monitor the remaining restrooms keep open. The problems at Leesville Road highlight the challenges schools have in trying to curb the use of e-cigarettes by teens.
I didn't know it was their job.
They put a subtitle here: the vaping epidemic, Kevin. I'm not sure these people actually know what an epidemic is. I mean, having that we just supposedly went through a real pandemic, you would think that they would kind of understand what this word means now.
No.
But yeah, they don't, apparently. Yeah. E-cigarettes are electronic devices that utilize a liquid laced. See how instead of just saying a liquid with nicotine, a liquid suspension of flavors and nicotine, they have to use the word laced because laced has a scary connotation.
Of course.
Yeah. What's that? Roofie. Your drink was laced with a roofie, They want to use because it's scary. I promise you, there's going to be chemicals somewhere in here too. With nicotine that produces a vapor that users inhale, their popularity caused the US FDA to declare an epidemic of underage vaping among young people. That was not the FDA, by the way. That was some dumbass named Vivek Murthy that did a Surgeon General's report decrying or saying that there was a youth vaping pandemic or epidemic. That wasn't the FDA. Last week, the Wake County School Board approved a 6-point. No, it was Vivek that did the anniversary report on. It was Vivek, yeah.
Oh yeah, the anniversary.
Yeah. Last week, the Wake County School Board approved a $6.2 million settlement with e-cigarette giant Juul that will be used to curb vaping addiction in students. I guarantee you $6.2 million will go to building bleachers for the football stadium. It will not be used on education materials about vaping. School leaders said the settlement will provide additional resources to address youth vaping and youth nicotine use in the district.
Yeah, sure it will.
North Carolina has already won a $40 million. So if this one school district got $6.2 million, the whole state, that's embarrassing. How many school districts in this, you would think that, but, you would think that state size settlement would be much larger than $40 million.
You'd think.
The first, but no, because they're just grabbing for that. What they're just settling. They're going to take whatever. The first state to challenge and force change in how Juul targets teens with its marketing. You're full of shit. North Carolina is not the first state to do that. North Carolina is firmly in the tobacco belt.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Juul has been settling lawsuits with states, counties, towns, and school districts across the country. Yeah, they had all of their cases enjoined together for all the states. They did that already. Teachers watching restrooms. In September, Solomon sent parents at least 2 emails about how the school was being disrupted due to frequent false fire alarms. Solomon warned that the students causing these disruptions because of vaping could receive long-term suspensions, which would last for more than 10 days from school. But Solomon told parents Monday that not even harsher penalties have deterred students from vaping. So let me. So this is like the worst thing that's going on in the school.
Studious little bastards, aren't they?
I mean,
yeah, fuck you. I'm going to vape anyway.
I mean, when I was in high school, there was way more serious shit going on than this.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I didn't go to school like you in the 60s, but you know, there were much more worrisome substances in school when I was in school.
Somebody was in our restroom smoking pot.
Nicotine
I'm not naming
was not
names.
anywhere near like a priority when I was in school. I mean,
no.
I mean, there PCP and
Yep.
There was some of that crack cocaine, you know.
I just don't understand.
I mean, go to Chicago, to like the inner city. Go to like in any of these big, huge metropolitan cities, and go to the, you know, I hate to say the slummy areas, but you know, the lower income school districts.
Right. That's probably where they take all their
I can
surveys.
guarantee you that they're not worried about nicotine vaping as a priority.
No. Did you know that we don't know where they send these youth surveys to, and those are inner city more than likely, in my opinion, but I've never been able to find that ever.
I seem to remember when I was in like junior high that we had some sort of tobacco survey when I was in school.
I never had one here, but we digress. It doesn't matter.
But again, we had a smoking section at school.
Right, yeah, we did too. Yeah.
And you know, I did go to school in one of the poorer states.
Mm.
During this year, we have tried numerous proactive and reactive measures to address this issue, including increased disciplinary consequences, having teachers give up a portion of their planning periods to cover bathroom areas, and exploring if we have the appropriate detection system in place, Solomon said in Monday's update. To date, none of these steps have curbed the alarms. The decision to shut down so many restrooms comes as the school year is nearing an end.
You know,
it is my hope that a long-term solution can be found to ensure that moving forward, we are not having this situation go into the 23-24 school year.
we won't have none of your crap, you little shits. So in my humbled opinion, you've got a set of teenagers that are like, fuck it, let's go to the bathroom, let's set this fucking thing off and get 15 minutes out of the class.
Dude, we used to throw like M80s in the toilets.
Because what better way to, you know, fight the authority, and the authority always wins, is my ass, right?
I mean,
I'm trying this out.
I'm trying to figure this. I mean, if this is the worst behavior, the kids, I mean, I'm not promoting kids using nicotine. Don't use nicotine, kids. But
if you do, stealth vape.
If this is really, kids, let me show you. You take a toot like this.
You can send me all the hate email. I don't care.
You take a nice deep inhale, like once or twice.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it with you. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Huh.
I mean,
again,
don't do drugs, kids. I'm just saying.
400. There's got to be 400 kids hitting on that puff bar because, damn.
I mean, I've seen a Juul. I don't know what a puff bar even looks like, Kevin. I literally don't know. I've never tasted one. I've never tried one. If it has a synthetic or not synthetic, if it has a nicotine salts in it, I'm not going to try it because I don't like it. But I can't imagine the volume of vape that comes out of that.
Right.
I mean,
right. Jerry.
Hey, Jerry's in the room. Hey, Jerry.
Ooh.
Again, I'm not promoting youth usage of nicotine, but if this is the worst thing that's going on in the school district, either the teachers have blinders on, or these are the most angelic children I've ever. I mean, really, this
I'm not
is
promoting
nothing.
I'm not promoting nicotine use. I'm applauding the fact that kids underage with brain damage clearly have better smarts than the adults.
I mean, again, parents should do their jobs.
What?
I can't understand. Again, I'm going to digress just slightly back to one of my other topics that burns my ass. Is the amount of people that are out in this, that are parents in this world, in this country, that would prefer somebody else raise their kids. They want the teachers to parent their kids. Now, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure you probably remember this, Kevin, but 1 in 10 public school kids, 10% of 10%. All kids in public school will be the victims of sexual abuse by a teacher.
Right.
And these are the people that parents are selecting to raise their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well,
let's be clear. You did the deed. It is now your responsibility to take care of those children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if
that's too hard, Patrick. That's too hard.
If you're a dad that's not, even if you're divorced from your wife, they are your responsibility.
That's too hard, Patrick. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm just saying. The reason we are where we are is we have too many single parent households in this country. I don't want to go off into the far right conspiracy nonsense, but I'm just telling you, in the houses where they have good parents, they have two parents.
Yeah.
2 role models to look up to.
You got a little better chance.
We're I don't know, Raj. When did you ping me in a tweet? So anyway, these are the people that parents and government have selected to raise their kids. They're not. I mean, these teachers now have as much authority as the parents do.
Well, the age of majority is 18, the age of raising your children is what now, 25 for the kids in the great government? Because, we want them to vote when they're 16.
It is confounding to me. See, when I was a kid, now I was lucky. My mom was a substitute teacher at the school. So my mom was frequently at the school.
Yeah.
So as sneaky as I was, I had to be even sneakier to get away with any shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, any parent could show up at the school.
Yes.
And sign in and go and stand in the back of the classroom.
And smack you in the back of the head.
or go to lunch with their child in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Now that's not allowed.
Well, no.
Only on special days.
Yeah. Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. Yeah.
I'm like, what? Yeah. What's going on in there that you're afraid that mom and dad are going to see? But yeah. Well. Speaking of nanny nonsense, here's another one. Let me pre-rub it. Let's get the fluffer in here and pre-rub this one. All right. Damn these fucking ads. I need to get an ad blocker. Let's present this nonsense. Let's present. And this is sad because this is a state that I never would have put on the nanny state list.
Yeah.
But Bama.
Oh.
Bama
Well, they can still marry
lawmakers
their cousins, right?
pass bill to ban smoking and vaping inside of a car with children.
I see you there, Steve.
Hey, Steve's here. Anyway, I mean, I get the smoking bit, but literally you cannot shield your kids from every behavior. So it says here, let's see. Birmingham, Alabama. The Alabama legislature passed a bill this week that bans smoking or vaping in a car with children younger than 14 years old and younger. House Bill 3 was created by Birmingham Representative Rolanda Hollis. She says she's pushed for this for 6 years now. So for 6 years, she's been trying to parent your children for you. Now, I will tell you, Kevin, most of the people that I know that actually smoke don't do it in front of their kids. They don't do it in the house where their kids are.
No, my son doesn't do it with his son. Still. So, you, Michael. Catch me if you can.
The bill makes it illegal to smoke or vape inside of a car with the windows up or down. Whether it's on or off, the violation of this can result in a $100 fine. Hollis says it's our job as adults to protect our most vulnerable. It takes a village, Kevin.
Well, because the cops have nothing better to do than pull into the local fucking chuck and say, Jesus, look at that. Patrick's got a 7-year-old in there and he's vaping. And now I'm going to have to stop and write him a ticket and cite him for bad stuff.
Right. Again,
bullshit.
I am not condoning smoking around kids, but again, it's not It's not the state's job.
I am not condoning the state taking the right away of an adult in this manner. Get in the trunk.
So, we're going to save these kids from having bad allergies, having respiratory issues, and everything that goes along with secondhand smoke. Representative Hollis said, even saving them from, as they go along in life, from getting cancer.
Well,
the bill is now waiting on governor's signature to make it law.
Oh my God.
Now, I am not going to go into all of the bad science of secondhand exposure.
Can you still screw goats in Alabama? I'm not.
I know that you can marry your second cousin in Alabama.
You can marry your. Oh, I thought it was your sister still. All right.
Yeah, no, this is what we're not talking about. West Virginia. We're talking about Alabama.
Fucking hillbillies.
Now, before anybody says anything, I was actually born in West Virginia.
This is my wife and my sister.
My wife's sister is Filipino, so we're not blood related.
Yeah.
I'm the first person in the family not to.
You see Mowgli? He's ripping it up a little bit. I'm gonna vape now. Kids, get in the trunk.
I got my goat hat on tonight. You see that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Just one more thing for the cops to target people for. Right. And remind me, Patrick, what socioeconomical group is that would probably be smoking in the car while they're waiting on their groceries?
Poor white trash. Oh, like me?
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Okay, so let's I'm going to show you this headline, Kevin.
Yeah.
And then we'll read the article, but I'm going to show you the headline, and I want you to just stream of consciousness react to the headline. I want your first impression
in my own peculiar way.
I want
like a
your
tweet.
First yeah. Let's see. Let's go. Let's do this.
All right.
3 students taken to hospital after ingesting edibles. Another transported after vaping.
Well, Well, get these guys because they're serious, but check on Zippy over there because we might have to add this to the headline. What the fuck is wrong? He set off the alarm. Oh.
All right. Now let's delve into this. Let me get my mouse over to the right screen.
I got a headache already.
All right. We're scroll down here. It says Boston school officials say 3 officials were taken to an area hospital after ingesting cannabis-infused edibles, while a parent says her son was also transported to the hospital after he vaped at school.
Well, don't forget my son.
So the Boston school officials say 3 people were sent to the hospital, but some hysterical Karen felt like her kid had to be as included as well.
Got the Karen out again, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did slide that Karen in there. Did you see how I did that?
Well.
The incidents happened at about 11 a.m. Tuesday at the upper campus of the Henderson K-12 Inclusion School in the city's Dorchester neighborhood, which serves students in 2nd grade through 12th. Now, how in the hell is it a K-12? That's kindergarten through 12.
I don't know.
But the school only serves 2nd grade through 12. How? What?
I don't know.
Mass holes.
Mass holes.
Yeah, that's you, Kevin.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. Henderson head of school Stephanie Sibley stated that 4 students who were impacted by substance abuse were seen by the school nurse and taken to a Boston hospital for further medical care. In an earlier statement, Sibley said that 3 middle school students ingested what appeared to be a cannabis-infused chocolate edible. School staff immediately notified Boston Public Schools, Safety Services, and Boston Police of the incident. The families of all students involved were immediately notified. Sibley wrote in a message to the school community, Boston Emergency Medical Services was also notified of the incident. Now, here's a question, Kevin.
All right.
So they're very concerned about the flavors.
Yeah.
Of of nicotine vapor products, specifically because they are enticing to children.
Well, children love them, I've heard. Yeah.
Now, far be it from me to try to divert attention away from our struggle and point at our friends that are in another struggle.
Yeah.
But they're not in a struggle anymore. The cannabis industry has been
doing quite
embraced and welcomed as a harmless thing that is legal for not all states, but
can you say harmless? Is it okay to do
that? Specifically in the state of Massachusetts, they have recreational. They have the freedom to recreationally get high.
What? They want me to move back?
The marketing of those products is specifically about how high you can get. Like, you can go into a cannabis store in Massachusetts and say to the guy, I want the strongest fucking shit you got.
Can I get this high? Yeah.
To get high. Like, it is legal for recreational use. We're going to get into the use of that word recreational later too. And
I'm thinking
they sell this in chocolate flavor, like candy bars, cannabis candy bars, and that's legal. And we all know kids like candy bars.
No.
I mean, that's the thing that the guy in the van used to hand out to me when I was a kid, just to go for a ride in his van. I mean,
wink.
I'm not making fun of that.
Don't piss off the child molester now. Right.
No. I specifically would like to piss off the child molesters. I'll give you my address.
Come on.
Come at me, bro.
Okay. Where's it legal, Michael?
What?
Are you in Mass?
Well, I don't know where Michael is, but I know for a fact that it's legal in Massachusetts. I know several people in that industry in Massachusetts. And again, I'm not trying to fuck up their business, but I'm saying
let them do what they want. I don't care.
In every state that has recreational use, they sell the shit out of flavored cannabis products, and nobody's raising hell about that.
Delaware.
I mean, and I've repeatedly chided people for pointing at that, the fruity vodkas and stuff.
Yep.
And here I am about pot, but I'm just showing you, because I can't not legally. Alcohol is a completely different world than us.
Correct. Yes.
Right. But
they got all the money.
Vaping cannabis products. A lot of the guys that ran out of business by the FDA went directly into the CBD and THC industries without skipping a beat. So we are running in parallel with those industries, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to ask, though, in these headlines, because if I read in here and I find out that somewhere in here it specifically mentions in the very end of the article that the person was vaping Delta 8.
No, that would never happen.
But they didn't put it anywhere in the upper part of the article. Now let's see. Let's keep going here.
Oh,
Marlena Woodliff said her 15-year-old son, a Henderson student, became very sick after he took a few puffs from a vape that was being passed around in a school bathroom. Vomiting, high blood pressure, elevated heart rate. He was very pale, so he was out of it, Woodliff said. From what I was told, he was given Narcan.
Stop. What do you mean from what I was told? Either he was or he was not.
As a parent, I'm sure if my kid was taken by emergency services to the hospital, I'm going to get a full fucking story about what they didn't give to him.
Conjecture, Your Honor.
Right. Sibley stated that an investigation into the incident is ongoing and that school staff will conduct searches as outlined in the Boston Public School student search policy if necessary. They better not be strip searching kids. Students who bring or distribute any illegal substance will face disciplinary action in accordance with the BPS Code of Conduct. Sibley wrote in her message to the school community. In March, 3 students from the same school were taken to the hospital after they ingested a cannabis-infused food item, commonly known as a marijuana edible. Early in March, 5 students at Boston's Tobin School ingested edibles, and 1 was taken to the hospital for further treatment.
Well, there's no sure way to know, is there?
So
it's elusive. It's very elusive.
If you give Narcan to somebody who is not overdosing, it is not going to hurt them.
But it's good publicity. So
you could give Narcan to somebody that doesn't need Narcan, and it's not going to hurt them.
And you could give Narcan to somebody that doesn't need it and then pretend that it happened, or not pretend that it happened, or you could happen, or who knows.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen any Narcan cops on TV giving anyone that's puking a Narcan application. They're pretty much out, gone, done. But that's what I saw, I don't know.
Yeah, the kid could have had a damn seizure of some sort.
Yeah.
And was unresponsive, and they go, let's give him some Narcan. He might be overdosing.
Well, just in case.
Oh, he's epileptic? Oh, never mind. Well, we'll just say it anyway.
Let's have preconceived problems.
Now, there's another topic that I believe that you and I, in this show, should get the, the accolades, we have been tracking this specific topic for 2 years.
In fact, I used that tweet too yesterday or today or something.
So, nobody else has been on this topic as much as we have been on this topic, and I'm not saying this to toot our own horns, but I want to be clear that I don't think kids should be fucked with. Period.
No.
Period. We perfectly clear on this topic. I mean, I'm not even a parent. You know, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna defend your kids as much. I mean, as well as I can fucking do.
Yeah.
So
isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna protect every fucking child that I see. I mean, I did do pediatric therapy for a long time, so that might be one of the reasons why I'm so protective of kids. I spend a lot of time with special needs kids, and this specific, and these are not special needs kids that we're going to talk about, but when we talk about people victimizing these kids, this is just fucked up. Yeah. So let's see. Girl strip searched at Detroit school over vape pen she didn't have, suit says. So we did talk about another story where several girls were strip searched. There was one vape pen. They strip searched 6 kids after they had already produced the vape pen, right?
Well, just in case, Patrick, because you never know.
Right. So it says here, but another student with a history of bullying the 8th grader falsely claimed she had a vape in her underwear. So here we go. A mother is suing a Detroit charter school after she says her 8th grade daughter was strip searched without her consent over a vape pen that did not exist. The lawsuit filed in Wayne County Circuit Court on Wednesday alleges the George Crockett Academy violated the 14-year-old girl's constitutional rights when the principal authorized 2 female staff members to conduct the strip search without notifying the mother on April 25th. No vape pen was found because she didn't have one, according to the lawsuit. But it has long been said that students do not shed their constitutional rights at the schoolhouse door, the mother's attorney, Hannah Fielstra of the Ernst Law Firm in Detroit said in a statement. The school had no justifiable reason to strip search an 8th grade girl for a vape pen. It is not a weapon and did not present an imminent danger to anyone. There were no credible threats of violence. A strip search is one of the most invasive searches recognized by law, and it was performed on a teenage girl during school. The circumstances of the search were not only humiliating, but her constitutional rights were violated. The school went too far. The Metro Times is not identifying the girl or her mother to protect their privacy.
I have a question for you. You have the know-how and knowledge of the Constitution. When exactly does a child's constitutional rights stop?
Never.
When does an adult's constitutional rights stop?
When they're dead.
When they are either incarcerated or dead, right?
When they're an unperson, yes.
I like that. I've never heard that term. Other than that, literally, they have rights just like I do, and you do, and everyone in the chat does.
They are citizens of our wonderful country, Kevin.
They're like people and all. Is that what I'm gathering from your?
Even non-citizens have rights in this country, Kevin. You know that,
well,
right?
Of course they do. Right.
Certain human rights that are inalienable to all people, whether they're citizens or not. And children are minors, so they're a protected class. There are things that you can get away with an adult that you cannot get away with on a child, on a minor.
An underage.
They are a protected class. So, I mean, you can legally, within certain definitions or certain, you can strip search adults,
right?
Within certain, very limited things. If they're in custody of law enforcement, they can be strip searched. If they're at the airport and there's a worry that there's some sort of imminent threat to the safety of other people, they can strip search you. They can give you the option to be strip searched or to be turned away, actually.
Right.
But a minor cannot be strip searched in any of those circumstances.
And yet we keep
other than
finding
the incarceration.
And can you
without a
name
parent's
any
permission?
Can you name
They
any
can't
other?
even be questioned by the police without a parent.
Right. Can you name any other instances where we've ever heard since 2018 or 19 any children being strip searched for any other reason ever? No, I can't.
I can't say that there are no circumstances in that period of time where kids haven't been strip searched, because I can guarantee you that
we know
in the case of like gun searches and things like that they've probably been some strip searches where there is an imminent threat. It doesn't get reported because it's understandable that might have occurred. But in the instance of a vape pen, I can't say that
right. And I guess my larger question of that question is, how many times have we not heard about this? How many times has it been someone out of court? How many times has somebody like Michael or I gone into the school and beat the hell out of somebody? Or you?
I'm quite positive that every every instance of a child being strip searched to look for a vape pen, I can promise you that every time that has happened, that it hasn't been reported, because I'm sure that there have been instances where it has occurred and it hasn't been reported because either A, the student is worried that it could come back on them. That they I mean, these kids today are much more fragile than we were when we were kids, Kevin.
Right.
Because I can guarantee you, when I was in school, it did not happen.
So on the scale, we know about this much, and there's probably this much.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure
because you said earlier
1/10.
Well, imagine it's a 10% figure that you discussed earlier. That was my circle. That completes my whole circle. You're welcome. You motherfuckers.
Yeah. According to the suit.
I like you.
Some of them. According to the suit, school officials should have been skeptical of the claims about the student. Earlier that day, another student who had a history of bullying the 8th grader told school staff that the girl had a vape pen in her underwear. Defendants failed to ask any follow-up questioning to corroborate the accusation with any details that would suggest that the female student had known animosity toward the plaintiff, had any firsthand knowledge that the vape pen was in her underwear, the suit says. So and I actually tweeted about this. The search took place in an office with 2 windows, one of which was not covered. According to the suit, the student was forced to remove her shirt and pants, lift up her bra, and fold down the top of her underwear, knowing she was on her period. After initially claiming the strip search had not occurred, the school later said the student had volunteered to be searched, a claim that the 8th grader denied, according to the suit. What girl? Now, all you boys in the room, do not answer. I know that Mallory is still here, and Cerny may still be here, and there may be some ladies that are lurking in the background somewhere. I'm not a girl, but I know plenty of them. I've been around many females, and I can guarantee you that no girl that I know that was on her period would voluntarily strip down to her underwear in front of people.
Would be coerced, but not volunteer.
And she's a minor, and Michael is right. She is not allowed to consent at that age.
There you
go. That is correct. So The school has a history.
How the school denied.
Yeah, initially they claimed that it didn't happen, and then they had to agree that it did happen. Oh, but she said we could strip her down to her drawers and show to the world that she's spotting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The school has a history of performing strip searches on minor students without parental consent. The lawsuit states. So there it is right there. The school already. So Kevin, we've done stories on strip searches on this before, right? I don't recall.
Yes.
So this answers the question about whether or not we hear about them, because this article right here says that this school has a history of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that I haven't heard anything about George Crockett Academy in the past.
No.
The school has a history of performing strip searches on minor students without parental consent. The lawsuit states. There, boom. The suit alleges school officials violated the student's Fourth Amendment rights and caused her mental anguish, emotional distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. And it says here the school did not immediately respond to a message-seeking comment. Well, of course they're not, because their fucking attorneys are like, you shut your fucking mouth, is what they're saying.
So the history is there on probably other things, and that's quite possible of violating the amendment. Now, the school calls the parents.
Now, Kevin, I'm going to get a little perverted here.
All right.
Not me, not for myself, but we already know that there are predators in educators that are predators, right?
Yeah, 10%.
So,
which breaks my heart.
So we're not 10% of educators, but 10% of students, which means that educators are doing it to multiple students.
Yeah.
So what is to stop a teacher from, making up some trumped up thing to force a young lady or a young boy into having to pull their drawers off in front of him or her? You know what I'm saying?
Vulnerable.
This is ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I retweeted this. It got like 80 views. Why do I keep getting these alerts on my damn computer? I hate it when these things just suddenly decides to give me an alert right in the middle of a show, Kevin.
I don't know.
So yeah, here this is it right here. This is it in a nutshell. This is just the newest bullying tactic. Some mean girl wants to embarrass one of the unpopular kids, tell a teacher they have a vape pen. Parents versus vape. This has whipped up the moral panic enough that someone is going to get drug out and stripped of their clothes and dignity. So,
and this is acceptable, clearly. I haven't seen parents of vape
going
against this.
They have not. They definitely will make an official statement when it's something that they want to toot their own horn about.
Yeah,
we want to take credit for X, Y, or Z, but they're not. And then I actually did up here too. This is the entire thread that I've been keeping since 2019. Or I've been tracking these articles. I mean, I just posted this in last May, but so this is a year-old thread. But I've got the timeline starting May 5th of 2019. This thread is for you, parents versus vape. These kids have lost their trust in educators and their dignity because of your lies and misinformation. Your moral panic caused all of this child abuse and victimization. Where is your condemnation? Apology. And then this is a link to the newest article, and then I've included the entire thread.
Not a sound.
Chirping.
They don't attend funerals either. Just so you're aware.
Crickets chirping. But no, they're proud of it. I mean, they're literally, they double down. I saw a new video of Caleb and one of the other kids this week doing on an educational tour.
Yeah.
About the dangers of vaping and how
big
tobacco is.
Is he in the van?
It might be.
Did he stick to the script this time?
I don't imagine. I don't imagine. But
well, Mallory's going to strip naked and get on this principal's desk, so we all know. Just in case.
That's her now. I guarantee you, when she was 14 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I guess.
Yeah. No,
maybe I've lived a sheltered life. I don't see a point in any child being put through that. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Kevin.
There isn't any, Bruni. There isn't any. And really, this child who was bullying this other child sounds like that she's been brainwashed just enough to do things like that. It sounds like a really, really good candidate for a tobacco-free kids ambassador coming out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Just my opinion.
So, if you do a minute, if you take a minute and you go to Google and you do a news article search and just type in the word vaping, you're gonna see the top 100 hits are all about Australia this week, Kevin.
Oh, easily.
Like literally, it and I feel sort of bad. Well, not sort of. I feel bad for my Aussie brothers and sisters. Even Tic Tac.
Yes. I tweeted about that and I tagged you. Did you remember that?
I don't know.
You old bastard.
So, Vapers fear government crackdown will lead them back to cigarettes. So we do have some sympathetic journalists out there that are doing some reporting on this topic. Let's see, Pachamama. I know those guys. I don't know these guys though. Kushti. I think this is probably THC vaping, Kevin. It's got kush in it. Anyway, vapers fear the government crackdown on e-cigarettes will force them to smoking despite price hikes on a packet of cigarettes. Rob started smoking when he was 17 and has only in the last 6 months kicked his habit after a friend gave him a vape. The 60-year-old truck driver told 2GB's Ben Fordham that he is addicted to vaping because he said he uses e-cigarettes less than he smoked. What? The 60-year-old truck driver told 2GB's Ben Fordham that he is addicted to vaping, but said he uses his e-cigarettes less than he smoked. So that's good. He's vaping less than what he smoked.
There you
go. I spend about $20 a week now on vapes, and I feel so much better, he told the 9 radio station. It was easy. I never wanted a cigarette since. But Rob fears the $235 million government crackdown on vaping, which promises to end the sale of disposable e-cigarettes, reduce the amount of nicotine, and change the packaging, will force him back to smoking cigarettes. I can tell you now, if Albanese wants to take these vapes away, I'll end up going back to smoking, sitting in the cab all day driving, he said. It's just a nightmare, and I'm worried. Under the government crackdown, Rob could still access a vape if he visited a doctor to get a prescription for a pharmaceutical one. Although it has previously been difficult to access a script for a vape to stop smoking from a doctor, with only 1 in 20 doctors authorized to do so, the government is promising to streamline the process. We think this has to change. Health Minister Mark Butler said. It will require removing the restrictions on doctors prescribing so that all doctors can write a script for those that really need it. But the only difference is the vape won't be flavored like the current disposable e-cigarettes. Really? Mm-hmm. So is it a ban on disposables, or is it a ban on flavors, or is it a ban on flavors and disposables? So from what I understood was that you could buy 0 milligram e-liquid, or mix your own, like Kevin, like our friend Paul in Australia does, and then just add nicotine. So they're saying that they're going to get rid of disposables and people won't have flavors anymore. Is that what? I mean, I haven't read anything about this that told me that flavors were going to be gone. But this is Mark, and Mark is saying that he's going to get rid of the flavors. The government's main game is to tackle vaping among young people, especially school-aged children. Vaping has now become the number one behavioral issue in high schools, and it's becoming widespread in primary schools as well. Over the past 12 months, Victoria's Poisons Hotline has taken 50 calls about children under the age of 4 ingesting vapes. Under the age of 4. Why are they saying under the age of 4 twice? Vaping is the biggest loophole in Australian health history, and banning disposable vapes that are easily disguised by school kids is a key part of the crackdown, Butler said. Now, Kevin, I'm holding up a $500 billet box.
Damn.
Now, a child could easily put this in their pocket. They could easily put this in a backpack. You know, most people, unless they actually know what it is, they're not gonna assume that this is an e-cigarette.
No.
I mean, obviously, a child is not going to be able to afford
You wouldn't
a
think.
fancy schmancy billet box.
No, I wouldn't think so. I can't.
I mean,
right? No.
it's not really $500.
Oh, still. Did you see that?
Uh-oh.
Did you see that?
Owl.
Did you
Andrew is saying that there's a coupon code for 30% off the Son of Liberty Radio vape band. Our collaborative products, like this really nice hoist the flag wristband with my logo on it, and it says hoist the black flag on the back, because obviously we're gonna have to be doing some flag hoisting. They're currently 30% off, and that includes does that include the cluster vape bands? Is that? I have a bag of them. I just saw it. Kevin.
My buddy got one now. I gave one to my buddy.
Well, they're in my window. You can see they're in my window right there.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll have to look at that website in a minute. But anyway, these are supposed to be pharmaceutical products, so they will have to be present. They have to be present. They will have to present that way. No more bubblegum flavors, pink unicorns, or vape disguised as highlighter pens for kids to hide in their pencil cases.
Right. That's what they do. Them studious little shits.
Yeah. So,
oh my god.
All right, we're gonna do a minute. We're gonna give me a minute here, Kevin.
I know on Wednesday when I did the Vapers UK news, there was lots of Australia.
Lots
in those links. Oh my god, probably 12, 14. Colin, Dr. Mendelsohn was on there, I think 3, 4, 5 times. I don't even know. So yeah, lots.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little bit of like product placement real quick, Kevin, because we're talking about hoisting the black flag and stuff. So I'm gonna show you the shirt that I'm currently wearing is actually the hoisting the black flag shirt. See, look at that. So on the front, you get this wonderful skull and cross mods. And on the back, it has some phrases from one of my favorite authors. But here, let's just present this for everyone so that you can see the Scallywag tea. This is the Scallywag tea. We haven't sold anything. We haven't advertised for a long time. So spend a second on this, because I love this shirt, because on the back of the shirt, we have these wonderful phrases on the back. The most dangerous man to any government is the man who is able to think things out without regard to the prevailing superstitions and taboos. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, intolerable. And then we have Puritanism is the haunting fear that someone somewhere may be happy.
I have this haunting fear that you're happy sometimes, and it bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah, and hoist the flag. And anyway, it says, every normal man must be tempted at times to spit on his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin slitting throats.
And roll, yep.
Hoist the damned flag.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorites. But there are others. There are other T-shirts available if you would like to look at my. Now, I do have some shirts for my wife's nursing association on there, so you don't have to buy those. But there's the Fight the Mind Control Menace. Your arms are too short to box with God. Nicotine Enhanced. Take My Vape. Walk the Plank. Nicotine Nerd. This is also one of my more favoritist designs, the Nicotine Nerd. I did delete the Kevin shirt. I need to put it back up. That was a
was a bestseller.
That was I think we sold one of those.
We sold one.
And we know Mark bought that.
Yeah.
We know Mark bought that. But in addition to those, if we go to vapeband.com,
we can.
Damn it, I only got one W on there. Websites have to have 3 W's, Kevin.
They do. They are. It's a thing. Interwebby net thing, Robert. Does that fan bother your sound?
I can't hear it.
Good.
I can't hear it.
Even better. It's working.
So if I go over here to shop, and look here, we have Son of Liberty Radio collaborative products.
Pippa.
Hey, Pippa's here. Wow. Hi, Pippa.
We must have stirred the.
We started talking about Australia, and Pippa shows up. But we also have our wonderful clusterfuck glow in the dark vape bands and our Liberty Radio hoist the black flag wristbands.
You may as well
30% off.
You may as well play the Judy clip while you're at it.
I think it's actually right here on the actual clusterfuck listing.
Oh, is it? Is it still? Oh.
I think so.
Yep, it looks like it is.
I think.
What America's going to do.
Let's
use my favorite word again. Clusterfuck.
Let's do that again.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again. Clusterfuck.
I love that woman.
She is one of my favoritist ladies.
Yeah.
She is one of my favoritist ladies. But anyway, let's go back to this Australian nonsense again, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's see. These are so have they gone through the TGA as a pharmaceutical product? Or no, therapeutic goods, right? They would have to. So if he's saying that they're supposed to be pharmaceutical products, I don't get it. But anyway, the federal government also plans to crack down to increase tax on tobacco products to minimize smoking in Australia. The excise on tobacco will increase by 5% over the next 3 years, generating more than $3 billion in tax revenue. This will
Are you catching on?
A packet of cigarettes by about $10 to nearly $50 a pack.
But they don't mention that you need a prescription or a doctor's permission to smoke, right?
No, for cigarettes you don't, Kevin.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
No.
They must be safer. That's what I'm thinking.
Since they're taxing you, I guess they're
that makes it safer. Yeah.
I guess they're admitting that.
Yeah.
Here,
Okay.
let me find
I want to clarify stuff. That's
no, I got an article. I got a video here. Let's this is out of order, but it is on the show notes.
All right.
Yeah. So let me present a video clip. Where is this here? Video file. Come on, computer. What? There we go. It's just slow as hell. There we go. Let's see. What did I call this show tonight? There we go. Kevin is just he's muted and he's walked away. Here. This is a pretty incisive comment on the whole situation in Australia here. Let's watch this.
Very excited by a new toy today, and it was this.
Disposable vapes are set to be banned in a new attempt to stop young people becoming addicted to nicotine.
The Albanese government will spend up to $250 million in next week's budget in an effort to stamp out recreational vaping.
In one of the biggest health reforms in a decade, the federal government will ban recreational vaping.
First to our top story, the radical plan to change Australian vaping laws in a world first that could see most e-cigarettes banned.
Recreational vaping will be banned in a huge crackdown to stop e-cigarettes from ending up in the hands of Australian school children.
I always love when the auto cue doesn't work at Channel 10. I don't use one during this program, by the way. You may have noticed. Well, yes, they're coming for your vapes. Certainly younger people believe that this is the way to get your rocks off as opposed to good old-fashioned traditional smoking. The reality is that all of it's bad for your health, and all of it, of course, is something that you shouldn't do. But all of this is a, dare I say, smokescreen from the actual announcement today. Now, think about the number that you heard, $250 million to go after vaping. What they actually announced today was a $3.3 billion increase to tobacco taxes.
Today, I announced that tax on tobacco will be increased by 5% per year over the next 3 years, starting on September 1st, because we know that a higher priced cigarette is a more unattractive cigarette. We will also align the tax treatment of tobacco products so that products like roll your own tobacco and manufactured sticks are taxed equally.
So let's ban the thing that keeps people away from buying cigarettes.
Yeah.
And increase the tax on cigarettes that people will inevitably go back to because they can't vape. So we're going to make even more money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So they say that a more expensive cigarette will be less enticing or will be less inviting or less tempting.
Well,
so Kevin, we've talked about this on this show before.
Yeah.
When we were poorer.
Yeah.
When we were poorer and we had $5 in our pocket, we had the choice of either eating lunch or buying a pack of cigarettes.
Yep.
We didn't eat lunch.
Cigarettes. Oh, hell no. I weighed way, way less when I was younger. Way
so,
less.
All this is going to do is make people skip their meals.
I'm kind of enjoying the idea that the Australian government continues to love and be addicted to cigarette taxes. That's what I see. That's all that is. They're selling cigarettes. They have a middleman. They're actually the seller. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right?
they need that $3.6 billion to pad their budget. So we're gonna take away the product that people are using to substitute for their cigarettes, so that they can't do that substitution, and then we're gonna tax the thing that they're going to buy because they have no other choice. Now,
because those are safer.
Who does a tax on tobacco punish? Who does it affect the most?
Lower socioeconomic, whatever the word is, poor people, basically.
The poor.
The poor.
This does not affect
the poor.
The higher
Bernie
educated.
just said so.
This does not affect the people that are higher educated, because we already know that smoking in those populations is already lower.
And those that do can afford it.
This affects the poor, the brown, the uneducated more.
Yeah.
Period.
There is no other way to put it.
And those communities already have the highest smoking rates.
And nobody cares. Nobody. Clearly.
Well, none of the things that they're doing anywhere to lower cigarette smoking targets those groups with compassion.
None.
Let's just ban everything that they like instead of trying to fix the situation with some compassion and education and alternatives. Let's just fuck those people over.
Zippy on the screen there said the word, which is I love this word, should not do. Should not do. Should not. What?
There are plenty of things that I shouldn't do that I do.
Fuck off.
And I have the freedom to do those things that I shouldn't do because they don't affect anybody but me.
Right.
Period.
And Pip is referring me to another thought. The black market will never happen in Australia. No.
No. Those kids that are vaping, they're buying their product from legal distributors. There's no illegal market there's no illicit tobacco market in Australia. They're not.
I was assured.
There are not vape Ubers.
No.
I seem to remember a video with vape Ubers. No. Anyway, let's hear this guy out some more.
Well, you know what I'm talking about because I had the glasses on. I'm very serious about this. Now, vice taxes are ones that are completely voluntary. If you choose to smoke, you will pay the tax. If you choose to do the thing that the government disagrees with, well, then you pay the tax. But forgive me if I'm slightly skeptical that all of this is about health. You see, the reality is that the single biggest addict to tobacco in Australia is the federal government.
I'll be damned. What?
Now I wrote a blog for the Vaping Militia in 2015 called Addicts and Junkies. And the whole point of the article was that the government was addicted to tobacco. Now, the U.S. government, not the Aussie government, was addicted to tobacco tax. That historically, the first year in America's history that the government was actually in the black was after they instituted the tobacco tax, which was the first tax on a consumable product in the United States.
Civil War, right?
No, it was before that. It was in
before that.
It was before the Civil War. It was during the third or fourth president. It was. I actually have the PDF of the article here on my desktop because the website, I had to actually go to the Wayback Machine to resurrect the actual blog because the website is no longer in existence. And the thing is when I wrote that article, I included all of the links to the documentation that I used to write the article on the very bottom of the article. And everybody's like, I'm so glad that you put these links in so that, people can actually go back and see the source material.
Yep.
And that, I think that when we write shit like that and we're pulling facts out of the ether, that is the way to do it.
You mean like vaping links? What? What?
Here, this is the original piece. Let me open. Now this is just a PDF, so it doesn't look nearly as pretty as it did when I originally authored it. But here it is, right here. Share screen. Go over here. Share. Bloom. Here it is. And this talks about the master settlement agreement and how that money was distributed.
Yep. This
is as concise a summary of the master settlement agreement. And I'm sorry to redirect from an Australian thing. We'll get back to that. Don't worry. 1862 was the first time that there was a federal excise tax on cigarettes. And that was also the first time that the U.S. government actually operated in the black. Boom, boom, boom. And then down here, these are all the links.
And they've never stopped since.
And this is, I mean, this was from 2015 when I originally wrote this piece. And we've been doing the same thing every Friday since 2016.
Yep.
Here, let's keep going. I want to hear the rest of this guy. I like this guy so far.
Now, while the spin says that an increase on tobacco taxes will somehow stop vaping, please help me work that out. They're not the same thing. Do you know how much money the government makes out of tobacco taxes? I'll give you a tip before you. They make $6 billion out of petrol. $6 billion out of petrol. How much do you reckon they make out of tobacco? Well, the answer is double. Now, again, it's a voluntary tax. But currently, the single biggest addict that if they had to quit tobacco would be shaking for a lifetime is the federal government, $12.4 billion. If this thing goes through, which it will, of course, it's an extra $3.3 billion over the next couple of years. What does that mean? They will raise $13.5 billion every single year out of tobacco. And again, many of the people who still smoke in this country, and there's about 10% of them, well, many of them are the people who obviously shouldn't for their health, but certainly shouldn't for their bank balance, as Matt Canavan observed today.
It's just a tax on the poor. I mean, the people who are left smoking are generally poorer people. And I just noticed, I don't smoke, but I noticed the other day it's $50 for 25 smokes. I don't know, how much more expensive do you want to make it? I mean, it's $2 a fag.
So, Kevin...
Nick.
Now, aren't I see the bald dude is in the chat room.
Don't you pick on Nick.
If we believe everything that they're saying about smoking, that nicotine is addictive as heroin.
Yes.
If they actually believed that somebody could break their habit, so they have to either believe that vaping is easy or that smoking is easy to quit. Because the only thing it takes is a couple dollars.
Right.
Or that vaping is the single most addictive thing in the planet.
Yeah.
And then how do they justify believing both of those things? If it's the most addictive thing in the world, how can they justify believing that a tax is actually going to dissuade people from doing it? I mean, I've seen mothers sell their babies for heroin.
Yep. Not pretty.
If cigarettes are as addictive as heroin, how comes we don't see mamas or daddies selling their kids?
I'd have sold mine in a second
for a pack of cigarettes.
If I'd have thought of it, you could have had them cheap.
I mean, I cannot believe the cognitive dissonance. Like this is I used one of your favorite words there. Did you?
Oh my God! I just got a tingle. My sphincter muscles even wiggly.
So either it is as addictive as heroin, and we should because government, even in Australia, I bet you $10 that if you're a heroin addict, you can get methadone, and no one is that you're going to get treatment, and people are going to treat you with compassion.
Well, will they really though? Can they?
I have to believe that in almost every developed country, I know that in Africa, in some places, if you're a drug addict, they chop your head off. I know that. I mean,
right.
But I believe Australia is probably more evolved than that. And that they probably treat their drug addicts with more compassion than they do their smokers.
Yeah. And Senator Orlando, leave him alone, by the way, will you?
If he'd grow some hair, then I wouldn't pick on him so much.
His brain is so goddamn big that his hair's just falling out. His brain keeps growing. That's all that is.
No. We just know that air isn't a good fertilizer. If he had something in there other than air, he would have hair.
I don't. Maybe it's just a man crush.
I was poetic there. I rhymed.
Poetic. That's what a dictionary.
Let's listen to Paul some more here.
Now, if the federal government had its way, you don't tax lead paint, you ban lead paint. But of course, they've found a way here that essentially they hope that there's one billionaire that'll be willing to pay $13 billion for one carton of cigarettes once a year. Because the reality is, their assumption is the more it costs, the fewer people will smoke, and there's not evidence that automatically proves that is exactly what has happened. There was in the early price rises, but then it has slowed over the past few years. $50 a packet. So while all of this is happening, while we are trying to ban smoking, ban vaping, there is a move on that also has to do with smoking that literally gets people elected to Parliament. There is a move on right now to legalise cannabis. There are 4 members of state parliaments around the country who were elected to legalise cannabis. This is at the same time when tobacco tax is through the roof. Guess what? It's just as bad for you for the most obvious of reasons. It ain't natural what you're inhaling. But 4 people are in the parliament, and in New South Wales and Victoria, they are in balance of power, which means they'll agree with everything the government does, but you, as my prediction is, will end up legalising this in the next few years.
So
why can't we have Paul on the show? Let's get him on the show, one of you people.
One of these days, I'll invite him on. I'd rather have Pip on. She's much more entertaining.
Well,
so, I mean, literally, we just talked about this. In Massachusetts, you can walk into a pot store, and I'm not deriding pot, but I'm just saying, they are selling a product specifically marketed to get you high.
Well,
like, you go in and you say, I want the bad motherfucker. They're going to give you the bad motherfucker. They're going
when your mouth is dry, you're getting pretty high.
Mean, they genetically engineer the strains that they're selling to be more powerful or less powerful.
You wouldn't think they would do that with cigarettes, do you?
Indica and sativa, you know. Now this is now Paul says don't trust this guy. I don't always trust this guy. I'm not always trusting this guy, but I can promise you that the people are there. The people in Australia are there that want pot, right? And since pot is more socially acceptable now than smoking, which you can drive a car and not be in an accident.
Yeah.
You can operate heavy machinery with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth and nobody's going to get hurt. There's never been any workplace injuries based on the fact that somebody was smoking a cigarette, but we know that
explosions.
We know that that cannabis does affect your reflexes, that does affect your mentation, that you know.
Yes.
I can remember my friends would smoke pot when I was in college, and they would think that they were being the most creative and they had these awesome ideas. And then when they looked at their notes the next day, it was just gobbledygook. And they're like, I wrote it down so I would remember. It was such a great idea. Oh, I can't even. What did I?
You know, when I was high, I found the answer to life's questions in every Beatles song. That's what I got out of it. So there you go.
So I mean, again, I'm you know, if you want to smoke pot, do it. That's not the point. The point is that they're in one hand they're trying to take away your tobacco harm reduction by possibly introducing legislation. On the other hand,
mind-altering legislation
that will sell you mind-altering products that are sold in a plethora of flavors.
That way you'll be happier about
gummies
the taxes.
and candies.
the taxes incurred on smoking will make you less pissed off that way because you'll be high. You know, it won't matter.
Yeah.
And Floyd. Oh, and Floyd, certainly.
Let's go back to this. This is a pretty long video.
And the Greens, who of course will say nothing about the rise on tobacco taxes, say that if we legalised and taxed cannabis, it'd make $28 billion.
Ooh.
So again, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to ban something because it's bad or legalise it because lots of people do it and there's lots of money in it?
Money.
Let's run with the theory that we don't ban it like lead paint. We tax it, and it's a voluntary tax because if you choose to smoke, your mistake, my mistake, you will end up paying for it. So let's be consistent. Why not do the same when it comes to cannabis? And why not do the same when it comes to vaping? The idiocy of pretending that in a country where illicit drugs are still, like last time I checked, illegal, and the government raises no tax, there seems to be an awful lot of illicit drug use in Australia. I don't believe that we should be legalising ice anytime soon. But we've got a long history in this country of working out how to make billions of dollars out of something that someone lights up. Whether they roll their own, they buy it by the packet, they buy it by the dozen, or, as it is now, they buy it as a disposable or it's rechargeable. And again, forgive me if I'm slightly confused here, where the attitude towards drugs in Australia, which are illegal, is that it will no longer be a crime to possess them in some parts of the country, like Queensland. In Canberra, completely cool with marijuana. At the federal level, let's make billions of dollars off tobacco.
Now, speaking of decriminalization of illicit drugs, I just saw an article this week of a guy that opened a store in Quebec selling pharmaceutical grade, like crack, pharmaceutical grade, like drugs, like actual drugs.
Ooh.
Because it's decriminalized now.
And you
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
But vaping's the real problem. I repeat, all of this is terrible for you. But which rule is it? Are we banning it or are we making billions off it?
Until they can figure a way to tax it, they don't like it.
Well, yeah, let's make some money, Kevin.
Yep.
So this next piece, I and people that are on my Twitter already saw this article, but I heard in that video multiple times the use of the phrase recreational vaping.
Yeah.
So
we'll have no fun for you people.
What in the world actually is recreational vaping?
Well, are they stealing it from the marijuana life wide?
I mean, we use, like, I vape as a maintenance. Like, this is my maintenance dose. This is what I use to prevent me from going back on back to smoking. Like,
I'll go as far as saying lowering my dependence on cigarettes.
Now, this is not a recreation. This is not a hobby. This is, I mean, there are people that turn it into a hobby, but they're still ingesting the nicotine to prevent themselves from going back to smoking.
Yep.
So you can enjoy it and it still not be recreational.
Yep.
So, and Mallory, I'm pretty up on the Canadian side of things, and I still don't believe that they're promoting anything in Canada. Yeah, they do tax it a little. In some of the provinces, they still tax it. In some of the provinces in Canada, you can only sell it behind the counter, and I don't believe I've seen Health Canada anywhere actually promoting vaping. But anyway, so this is, I always like when they start an article about vaping going all the way back to Han Lick,
Yes.
Let's give the man his due. Let's when Chinese pharmacist Han Lick invented the electronic cigarette in 2003, it was an attempt to wean himself off tobacco. In 20 years since, Mr. Han first lit up his device, Kevin.
Yeah, well.
Debate has raged not only about the effectiveness of vaping as a way to quit smoking or quitting cigarettes, but also if inhaling nicotine-infused vapor causes serious health problems of its own. The Australian government, however, seems to have made up its mind. In the country's strongest measures against tobacco and nicotine for more than a decade, the authorities this week said that they will take steps to ban all disposable vapes, restricting flavors and colors and reducing their nicotine levels. People will still be able to use vapes with a prescription to help them stop smoking cigarettes, but the country's health minister, Mark Butler, was robust in his criticism of vaping, accusing the tobacco industry of using e-cigarettes to create a new generation of nicotine addicts. The country has joined Singapore and Thailand in introducing tough measures to restrict a product whose long-term effects on health remain largely unknown. Although more research is needed into the consequences of e-cigarette use, the World Health Organization has already said that they are harmful to health and are not safe. The Cleveland Clinic warns vaping is more likely to lead to asthma and other lung conditions. Kevin, did you get pneumonia? You're an old man, and old people get pneumonia. That's like the most common health ailment for people in your age category.
Ever. Never, ever, ever.
No bronchitis. No.
Nope. Got COVID a couple years ago. About it.
Did you get the COVID? I didn't even remember that you had the Rona.
Yeah, I took that week off. Oh, I remember.
I never got the Rona.
But we had it. See, Jeremy got it, and then the girl got it, and then the other boy got it, and then I got it, and then the other girl got it, and then the mother got it, and then we all had it, and we didn't see our grandson for about 7 or 8 weeks, and I was really, really fucking mad. But
quit getting cooties, and
that's exactly. Well, they're gone now, so it's just her and I spreading cooties. Just her and I.
I mean, periodically, I still run across a patient that has the Rona.
Yeah,
not as it's not as much as from 2 or 3 years ago, but every once in a while. Excuse me. Vaping is a complex medical, legal, and commercial issue that touches on personal freedoms and responsibilities. That said, the practice will likely face more restrictions in the future, mirroring the way that tobacco smoking in many countries was eventually pushed out of most public spaces and confined to dedicated smoking areas or people's homes. In the UAE, it is illegal to vape in offices or other closed spaces, sending out a signal about the practices of social acceptability and the need for careful measures. Kevin, you remember a couple years ago they padlocked every vape shop in India? You remember that?
Yes. In fact, I do.
And the guy that was responsible for that got a medal from the World Health Organization. Remember that?
Why wouldn't you pass out a medal? Why not?
And then, 2 weeks later, he was looking for a job.
But I got a medal.
Yeah, I got a medal.
A friend of ours sent his medal back.
They didn't mention India anywhere in this article. They congratulated Thailand and Singapore, but they didn't say anything about India. The health implications of e-cigarettes will continue to raise their head, particularly given the nature of who is vaping. Most people who are vaping are young. Really?
Yeah.
Young? Let's see. I'm 51. Kevin is 70.
Ed is 162.
Pippa is...
Where is Ed?
Pip is 30.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Paul is 80.
Bruni?
Bruni's a million.
He's the Thunder from Down Under.
I don't think anybody in here. Nick Orlando, he's
I think he's younger than I am. Careful. I think he's younger than me. I don't know about
Andrew
you.
Is 53. I don't know any young people that vape, Kevin.
Surprisingly, I don't either.
Mallory is 24.
There you go.
Yeah, see? Even Paul's older than me.
Let me ask you a question and divert from the main article.
Okay.
Why has anybody asked this? I don't know. Why have they not called Dr. Hanlik and said, Jesus, how did you come about this, and what are the dangers, sir? Since you were the inventor.
Or, hey, they claim that Bruni is younger than you, Kevin.
Because if you go to the source and you put your hand around the guy's neck, at least you might get an answer that way.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that Hanlik invented them. Shouldn't they just go to him and say, dude, what's in this? Because we don't know what's in it.
What exactly is this doing? What is the cause and effect of these products? Now, given I think he sold out, or he gave up the right, or whatever the copyrights, or I don't know.
Well, he's Chinese. The government owns everything over there.
So I don't know how all that worked, but wouldn't he be the guy to still have as a source of information? Because he's the one that he's the top of the little triangle. And
no, Hanlik did not die. If he did, his corpse was at the Global Forum on Nicotine last year.
I was going to say I don't know that he did.
I just recently saw a video of him that's less than a year old.
But I don't understand why none of them have ever. I mean, truly, Savannah Guthrie, Jerry Gottlieb. None of these people have ever said, let's bring the man in himself right here. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, this is the guy that invented it. He probably knows more about it than almost anybody. I mean, obviously the technology's evolved, but I mean,
right. Given that, the guy that invented the vehicle and then the guy that invents it now is a whole different.
Yeah, I mean, if you brought in Henry Ford and put him under the hood of a Tesla, he'd be like, what?
Right. Yeah, the chalkboard has changed, but the concept is the same. It's less harmful. That's that. And why? Because it's not the same. Yeah. Herbert Gilbert is still alive. Moist flavored air is his quote. Moist flavored air. 1962, I think, is when it was, Nick, if I remember. I knew he was alive a few years ago.
So let's go. Most people who vape are young. The CDC says that since 2014, e-cigarettes have been the most commonly used tobacco product among American youth. Why are they trying to bring America into this nonsense?
Well,
the and Nick, the Gilbert's device is not technologically similar to Hanlik's device. So, I wouldn't give him credit. Because,
no, but moist flavored air is good.
It's not. I mean, if you look at the patents and compare to what we use currently, Hanlik's is definitely much more similar to what we do than what. Yeah,
but the technology was so much different.
Yeah. I don't. Why are they quoting America?
Keep your name out of my mouth. I don't know.
The American Cancer Society has also cast doubt on the claims that vaping is a safer alternative to smoking, saying it may play a part in some kids or teens wanting to use other more harmful tobacco products. Prove it to me. Show me any evidence. Show me. I want concrete statistical analysis and proof of your nonsensical gateway bullshit statement, because I cannot see it. For them. I've been here over a decade and I haven't seen it. So yeah, this is bullshit. If this concern about vaping that seems to have It's this concern about vaping that seems to have informed Australia's move, and it's fueling the scrutiny that some regulators are applying to a product that came on the market relatively recently.
That hurt me. That hurt my head.
2007. Is that recent? Kevin? 2007?
No. It's almost vintage.
I mean,
where are my new smokers?
In what are we at? 2023. So
Yes,
in
sir.
4 years, vaping will be an antique.
Vintage, at least. I don't know about antique.
I
Antique,
mean,
I think,
antique is
100.
20 years.
Is it 20? I thought it was.
Yeah, to get an antique plate on your car has to be 20 years.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Good point.
Yeah. So I will have antique vaping devices in the next few years that still work awesomely. Just saying. My Sigelli, my Sigelli will be an antique, and I have a Tesla, the Darth Vader's dildo.
Yeah,
I have that one. That one will be an antique a year after that.
I don't know what ASMR is, Pippa.
That's when you have the videos where people talk like this and they
moist flavored air,
and everything is really low like this, and then,
moist flavored air.
Yeah.
I've got, what is a VS2 Sigalike? VR2
V2. V2.
Is it a V2?
V2.
I got some of them there bastards still. Are those antique?
Yep. I got some
me a
AR 808s
charger.
over here too.
I don't have 808s. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a little bit older than what you're talking about. It's a different. So here the cartomizer is the male and the device is the female.
Watch it.
And the 808s, it's different. The threading is reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Are you?
What?
I'm using standard terms for threading, male and female.
Oh, careful!
You're trying to get me in trouble.
I don't want to get banned.
I won't be canceled over here for something. Misgendering my
I'll
threads.
be right back.
All right. Let's see. Where was I at about this? Okay. The sun became the market. Knew too little. Scientific research into tobacco use took decades to establish the link between smoking and cancer. It wasn't decades. It was literally centuries. People were smoking since like the 1700s when America was discovered, because America was the first place tobacco was cultivated. The Native Americans got us addicted to tobacco. I mean, let's be factual now. Smoking, as well as other serious health conditions. Vaping is a social phenomenon, is still in its early years. It is too soon to say if Australia is taking the right steps. Some critics have warned that a near ban on vapes could create a market for illegal and unregulated e-cigarettes. No, never.
Mm-hmm.
But with so much still to be understood about vaping and its consequences, some countries may start to err on the side of caution and rethink their relationship with Mr. Han's famous device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Recreational vaping. They still didn't explain or use the word recreational vaping anywhere in that freaking article. That's a V2, sir.
It is.
Yes, that's from like 2017, 2018.
Those are those.
Yeah.
That's all you get. That's all I'm showing you. Anyway.
No, not 2018.
I don't know.
2013, 2014, somewhere around there.
Those were acquired.
Acquired.
They were acquired. I'm not ready to say.
Did you? When I acquired things when I was younger, that was usually because I was,
Nope.
Five finger discounting.
No. Yeah. These were sent to me a long time ago in 2015. In fact,
yeah,
those were sent to me. Anyway, they were sent to me. That's right. And don't forget to flush. Good Lord, he just walks away and pretends he owns the damn place.
I was just going to check the thermostat.
Oh, all right.
My office
Hey,
is
you know what's funny? This is blinking, guys. What does this mean? It's blinking.
That means the battery needs to be recharged.
Damn, I didn't even know it was on. They're not. Nope. I guess it don't turn off. Anyway.
No, my office is always about 5 degrees hotter than anywhere else in the house.
That's
so
the only.
Since the AC guy was here today, and I probably spent $700 getting my AC fixed, I'm a little bit paranoid about my AC. So I was feeling a little warm, so I decided to go check the thermostat just to make sure that it wasn't hot.
There you go.
I
got all fuzzy on myself. Look at that. So
Did
they
my
don't want to
phone-
talk to. Huh?
I
What?
think my phone died.
Hunky vape.
Yeah.
Hunky vape.
Hunky. I don't know how hunky he is. Or she. She could be a she. Could be a he. I don't know.
What
So
other kind of bullshit
now we're
people-
going to make a t-shirt that says moist flavored air. That's just going to
Hey,
say
listen.
what it says.
I'm telling you, that's one of the best things I ever heard. I saw
Dude,
it
you
on the
need to like
patent.
turn your autofocus off or something. That's what it.
I don't know what that means.
It's your
Stop.
cam. Your cam is trying to autofocus.
Camera.
You put something too close to the screen, and now it's or too close to the.
Poof.
You're still blurry.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody's looking at you anyway, I guess.
right. Nobody cares. I'm better looking now. Look at that.
Yeah. I can't see all those cracks on your face now.
That's right. I've earned those bags. I gotta
it
mirror
says-
my camera. That's all it says.
So it says he says I'm not hunky. The vape is, and then he says GTSY all. I don't know what the GTSY. What is that? Good to see you all. Okay, maybe that's what that means. Maybe
Don't
that's
know.
what that means. Here, let me play a video, Kev. Let me
All right.
let me
That's fine.
let me play a video here. Let's see what is this about.
Fine.
The end of the school year, Raleigh High School is taking a new step to try to curb student vaping.
Now, this is a video about the article that we already read, but since I already downloaded the video, we're going to play it anyway.
It's interesting.
You know,
They're
the-
closing off half of the bathrooms in the school. CBS 17's Harrison Grubb is live at Leesville Road High School.
So I wonder how many kids are going to piss all over themselves.
Well, that's
Running
what
to
I
the
put on my
bathroom.
tweet. Yeah. Julie, you got to pee? Too bad. Too bad. Fuck off. Go back to class.
Yeah, you're fucked, yeah.
School. And Harrison, how confident though they are they that this is actually going to work?
Well, they are hoping that this is going to help. And just picture you're sitting in a school, in a classroom, and constantly throughout the school year, these fire alarms are going off. Now, this step is happening because teachers have had to be monitoring these bathrooms, but so far there's just been too many for them to alleviate the issue. In a step, Principal Ian Solomon said he hoped to avoid. Half of the campus's bathrooms will be closed through the end of the school year. His letter to parents begins, quote, "As you are aware, we have had a continuous problem this school year with alarms being set off as a result of students vaping in the restrooms."
Now, I have a question. So if this has been an ongoing problem throughout the school year, wouldn't you think that the principal would have sent like a memo or had a, brought it up during a meeting at school that maybe parents should be checking their kids' school bags before
Or
they
maybe-
leave the house,
Maybe including possibly even calling the alarm company or taking them fucking things out, maybe, because that would alleviate that part of the problem. And then let the parents parent.
I mean, we've done stories about this in the past where the students, it's been such a problem that the school has locked the bathrooms or taken the doors off the stalls in the bathroom, taken the doors off of the bathroom door itself,
Taking
that
photographs.
We've obviously done stories about pervy principals taking pictures under the stall doors of the toilets. This is a topic that we've covered in depth. There are many of these things that I would say are too far. I mean, I went to school in boys' bathrooms when I was in school didn't have fucking doors.
Right.
You know, on the stalls. So if you were pinching off one, you just had to do it. And if somebody walked by,
where you lived, you had to be able to get the livestock in the actual store.
Well, I mean, you had to go out to the privy, you know, and but you know, these are. I mean, really, if you had just invited the parents to the school and said, "Hey, this seems like something that maybe you should be part of our solution.
Right.
Maybe you should be going through your kid's bag at school." You know,
Are they also, by the way, trying to? I thought of this earlier when you were reading one. Are they trying to justify the money they spent that now they see didn't fucking make any sense? But in either way.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this school if they've done a story about vape detectors. You know, the whole purpose of the vape detectors is to, you know, set a silent alarm to the principal's cell phone so that he can run to the bathroom and catch people, you know?
So it really looked good on paper, but it really doesn't work in real world situations.
Now
Is that what you're saying?
Now that they're complaining that the detectors are working, apparently, and it's disrupting their slack time sitting in the office doing nothing.
Well, other than stripping children, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that. Yeah. Let's keep going here.
A parent who declined to go on camera told us that problem has seemingly escalated recently, with 2 alarms the last 2 school days, including during Monday's AP exams. According to Solomon's letter, administrators have taken a number of steps to try and prevent the issue, including stricter discipline, having teachers cover bathrooms during their planning periods, and evaluating the school's fire detection systems. But, quote, to date, none of these steps have curbed the alarms. Solomon says this decision to close half the restrooms was made to cut down on the number of areas that need to be monitored by teachers who are continuing to give up part of their planning periods. The issues with vaping at Leesville Road come as teens across the country continue to use e-cigarettes. A study published last year by the FDA reported just over 14% of high schoolers were current users. The CDC says e-cigarettes.
Now that's 4% higher than the CDC report that I read.
Yeah.
Cigarettes are not safe for kids, teens, and young adults to use. Some of the risks associated with vaping include the potential harm nicotine can cause to the still developing brain.
Brain damage.
Some of the risks are the cause of people getting strip searched and butt fucked. How's that?
Yeah, I mean that seems like a more reasonable.
That's my assessment. I don't.
I mean, we already.
Well, I should have said.
So if they're saying 10% of the kids are vaping, that's what the CDC report that I read said. It didn't say 14%. And we know that 10% of kids in public schools are being sexually assaulted by their teachers.
This kind of works out pretty well for the numbers.
Are they the same 10%? And we know that they're strip searching kids in school now.
Yeah.
And taking pictures under the stall doors.
Yeah.
Now they're just victimizing the same 10% twice.
You know, there's 2 solutions to this that are pretty clear to me. One, you decrease the sensitivity of these things. 2, you take them the fuck out. There's only 2 things you can do. You can't tell me 10% of the school is in the bathroom vaping on a fucking break. No, you can't do that.
I mean, when I was in school, you had to have a hall pass.
Yeah.
And if you were out of the classroom for more than, 5 minutes, the teacher was going to be sending somebody after you.
Somebody's coming.
Hey, little Jimmy's been gone for like 15 minutes. Hey,
I find that, in my opinion, that these children's bodily functions are none of my concern at all, for any reason. I have no concern over this child walking into the bathroom and, like Pippa said, let them vape or voop in peace. Leave them be. Fuck off.
My wife won't even let me voop in peace. Apparently in her culture, it's normal for people to walk in and start talking to you while you're taking a dump.
Okay, well.
I have to actually log, and I've heard stories of like parents, their kids like won't let them poop in peace.
Right.
I'm like, I have to lock the fucking bathroom door because I got to have some. I can't perform with an audience.
It's most of your life. Anyway, so bastard, yes. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Now, when I was a kid, like I said, we would throw M80s in the toilets and shit. Like we were
Somebody
acting out.
set off
I was being destructive as a child, but you could crack a fucking porcelain toilet with an M80. It's awesome. Makes a mess. But anyway, here, let's look at this vaping PSA that I found this week, Kevin.
Oh, is this the one I think it is?
Vape.
This is from Brownsville, Texas, by the way.
Oh.
Vaping is a product that is used to inhale and exhale from the arousal, often referred to as vapor, that has been produced by an e-cigarette or a similar device. So you consume the product into your system, and that is what vaping is.
Did she say arousal?
One of the
Yes.
Not aerosol, it was arousal. All right. Yes. I was making sure she knew what she was talking about before we moved on. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
Common misconceptions when it comes to vaping is that when vaping was first introduced, it was introduced as a source for an alternative to help somebody quit smoking. However, studies have not been able to prove that information. So the
studies have not been able to prove that people are able to quit smoking with vaping.
I have a question. If it was introduced as and became something that helped people quit smoking, why did they fuck it up?
Actually, it was never introduced that way because we went to court and we were not allowed to make those sorts of smoking cessation and health claims. Right. That actually is illegal. That never happened.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, just saying.
Conception is that it was introduced as a healthy alternative without some actual evidence.
We actually do have evidence.
Well, she's got a badge.
There is a variety of chemicals that are involved inside of vaping. Some of them being glycerin or propylene glycol are just some chemicals that are used inside of the vaping, and those are products that are used to expose the evaporation of the smoke.
Oh, sweetie, charge
expose the evaporation of the smoke.
Charge up your taser, will you? Because these kids are out of control.
One major health side effect that can happen when it comes to consuming a vape product, it can lead to some respiratory health issues as far as your lungs.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
What?
Well, let me, I work pretty hard at this. I chain vape most of the day.
Yeah. Are you having lung dysfunction right now, Kevin?
Well, wait a minute. I think I'm not dead yet. I was trying.
All right, let's keep going here.
Some legal consequences when it comes to being caught with a vape pen on school. Now, depending if it is a tobacco product or a THC product, they can face either a fine or maybe some jail time.
Ooh.
Now, we have students who are going to get ready to graduate, and if they have potentially a felony on their record because of this offense, it is not going to help them if they're trying to get into certain schools, a career.
All right. I have to double check here because this is Texas. Yeah. This is where I live.
Yeah.
I believe now. I think felony arrest for marijuana would be like pounds of marijuana.
Okay. Right.
I don't know how you could possibly get a felony arrest for a vape pen.
Well, let's pretend you did under 18. You can also then expunge it, right? So,
well, your records are sealed.
Right. Well, expunge, sealed, same thing to me.
Well, I mean, expunge, you actually have to go to a judge and they have to remove it completely from your record.
Right.
Yeah.
Career or maybe even financial aid, depending. I do know those are some resources that they will not be able to have the opportunity to receive because of a potential felony offense.
Did she pass her English test?
The best.
Well, I mean, she's a police officer. I'm trying to figure out a police officer should know.
You think? Oh my God.
I think Steve, if you're an adult in a school zone, that's a felony. But I don't think as a minor in a school, I still think it's a misdemeanor. I have to check. I don't actually have that memorized, but pretty sure. For marijuana, because in most places in Texas, especially in the bluer areas of Texas, which Brownsville is one of the bluer areas of Texas, it's decriminalized.
Advice I can give any parent or any student when it comes to a vaping product: do not do it. We do not know the long-term effects of vaping yet. Our ultimate goal right now is trying to be preventative, and if we can be preventative by day one of just stopping completely, that is the best advice I can give anyone.
Well, she sounded very knowledgeable, and that badge made me nervous.
I mean, a girl with a gun is kind of making, I usually get aroused when I see a girl with a gun. I'm just saying.
Nicotine rights advocate, Nick said earlier.
Yeah.
So, boy, that was educational and scary as hell.
Yeah, she didn't even understand some of the words that she was saying.
She said aroused or arousal or some bullshit instead of
aerosol. Yeah,
now that's your neck of the woods, right there.
Well, that's about an hour and a half south of me. They're on the Mexican border. Brownsville, Texas is one of the most southern points in the United States.
Pippa, I have a tweet somewhere that says first offense for the children should be $1,000. Second offense $5,000. Third offense $10,000, because eventually Karen, mom, will get tired of paying these fines. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Fuck them. Make them pay. It's kind of like the tax in Australia, but more. Of course, you guys get jail time.
Yeah, no. So the Brownsville is right on that's the southernmost point of Texas that's touching Mexico.
The temperature is high and the sheep are nervous. Right bottom, down there,
and that
sheep are nervous.
That is a very blue. The border is a very blue area of Texas.
Bah, bah.
Not to get political. Let's see. Oh, here, Kevin. Here, this is a kid ready to drop a dime on his other students. Yeah, here we go. This kid. This is the next. What's that kid that's touring the country, saying that to stop vaping and that vaping is bad because he was in the hospital and had to have a double lung transplant. That guy who's
Daniel, some
monetized his lies. That guy or
Caleb.
This is a Caleb or Daniel wannabe.
That vaped, suspended. If they all did that at once, we would be missing half the student population.
That high school student is fed up seeing classmates vaping inside the school, so now he's doing something about it. He and a friend decided to post embarrassing pictures of themselves around the building.
That'll do it. Their goal is to grab people's attention and get teenagers to quit smoking. WCIU3's Marley Capper met with the boys. They are very passionate about this, Marley.
Jonathan Smith and Jackson Dillow feel that teen culture says that vaping is cool, but they couldn't disagree more. They are student athletes and they want their friends to be healthy, so they took matters into their own hands.
Wow.
Is that a vape, man? Not cool, dude. You best not be smoking in the bathroom again. I'm always watching.
Wow.
These are the posters Jackson Dillow and Jonathan Smith handed out and put up around Central High School.
Well, since honestly probably the beginning of high school, it's always been a problem.
And then it kind of got worse. Nicotine pods that have the amount of nicotine as a whole pack of cigarettes.
What?
Oh,
Really?
Dear God.
Oh.
See, these
Clearly.
This is two kids
who've clearly been molested.
who are they're looking at putting something on their college.
Yeah.
This is a project I did when I was a senior in high school.
I can't get my sports.
My grades are not good enough to let me in, but I did this really cool project. They said student athletes. I was on the second string, so I can't get a sports scholarship. But I did this
And
thing.
bullying is cool. Bullying is cool. Watch what we're doing.
And kids are smoking like 1 or 2 of these a day.
The friends say the problem is blowing up, and they see 5 to 10 students vaping every time they go to the bathroom.
You would walk in, and it'd be like a cloud would hit you in the face.
Dillo and Smith have always been class clowns, so they thought posting funny pictures of themselves would send a stronger message to their peers rather than teachers telling them to stop.
Seriously, man, a vape in the bathroom, you're better than this. Quit today.
Hit the nick and you'll get sick. Quit today.
They say the signs captivated their classmates, who plastered them.
Now, I have to ask, what is this picture of? I mean, this is a guy with his shirt off and another guy with his arm around him.
They're from Texas.
No, this is
Down in
Illinois.
Brownsville.
This is Illinois.
If there was a sheep in front of that, it'd be funnier.
This is Champaign, Illinois here. This is not Texas.
Well, that's farmland. I don't know.
On social media.
I'd say it was all support. I think everyone approved of the message.
15 minutes of handing out 150 of these. They were sent to an administrator's office and told they can't continue until they go through a proper approval process.
And we apologize. We're like, hey, we didn't know about that. We're sorry.
But when they tried to get approval,
They said, no, you guys can't go through the approval process. You're done.
I reached out to a district spokesperson about the issue, who told me there was no issue with the content and that the principal would reach out to them. That happened, and now things are moving forward.
And he was super awesome. He loves the message.
Their next step is to find a teacher sponsor and to create a club, so that way they can keep spreading their message about ending teen vaping.
Gee, Patrick, do you remember the Florida fucker that the city, I think it was the city, that approved a bullying video for consumption?
Yes, and they privated. I mean, we showed that video.
Doesn't that seem similar, eerily similar to this?
Yeah, this is.
Well, no, we like what you're doing. We just don't want you to do it until we're approving of it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud those young men for their tenacity, I guess is the word. Idiocy, if you will.
Well, I mean, they're like I said, they're just.
You can't get a scholarship, can you, Billy?
They're looking at something to beef up their college applications.
Don't let me catch you with a fucking beer, boy.
These are clearly kids that are not going to be popular in school.
Wait till they get to college.
Here's another one of these kids that are trying to monetize their.
Why do you keep
their lies? Let's look at this one.
It's late.
Have a day surgery, you're in and you're out, and it's done. So I went into theatre. The next thing I remember was waking up with a massive tube like down my throat in
Kevin has woken up many times with a massive tube down his throat.
So I just fell into instant panic. They told me that they're going to take this tube out. It was the worst experience ever.
He's like, no, I want it in there.
And the nurse comes over and says to me, I don't want to scare you, but you've been in this coma for a couple of days now. So then I knew that this was serious. My lungs were kind of battling the anesthetic almost, so they were struggling under the surgery. And what the doctor told me was they could tell that my lungs were not in the best state at the time. They basically, after like examinations and taking blood tests, said that I seriously need to consider cutting this out because it can have some really long-term damaging impacts for me. I was strongly advised that if I was to vape again or consider smoking or anything of the sort, that I could end up back in hospital.
These kids are weak these days, huh? I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, I mean,
the hell? What's the matter? What happened? You all right? Is everything okay now? What were you doing? Jesus Christ. I don't mean to scare you. Moist flavored air.
Moist.
Is it Illinois or Illinois? By the way. And Louisville. My wife thinks it's Louisville. I'm like, it's Louisville. At best. Louisville. Not Louisville. Illinois.
Depends on where you are, where you're from.
What exactly was this dumb fuck doing? Was he vaping the wacky weed stuff?
I don't know. He didn't say. He just.
Oh.
You got to leave it vague, my friend. You can't.
Left it open for interpretation. Okay.
Can't admit
right.
that you were breaking the law.
You like that I brought that out of my brain?
Well, breaking
Left
the
it
law.
open for
Breaking the law.
interpretation.
Breaking the law.
Why you got to work me up this late? It's late. I'm tired. I don't like you. I got a headache. I haven't had enough caffeine today. I didn't take a long enough nap.
Dude, I had 2 giant coffees. I had 2 of these today. 32 ounce double espresso.
That's empty.
Iced coffees today.
That's empty.
Since I've been on vacation.
Working on this one just since I've been here with you.
And they opened a new coffee shop, a new drive-through coffee shop.
Are there flavors?
There are.
Because if there's flavors, you should go over there with a sign and say ban flavors. That's what you should do.
Arseload
I think
of
we all
flavors.
should. Judas Priest. We should all just walk into the next Starbucks you see, then scribble a sign and say ban all flavors.
Well, no. So this is called 7 Brew drive-through coffees. What this place is called, and a 32-ounce iced coffee, cold brew coffee, is like $5. 32 ounce. Now, if you go to Starbucks, a 20-ounce cold brew coffee is $7.
I've drank one Starbucks coffee and it was plain old coffee, and I threatened the girl if it wasn't regular coffee, I was coming back to hurt her, and she giggled and said, "No, sir."
That's what you order, an Americano.
I didn't know what that was. I just said I want plain old coffee.
That's a plain black coffee, Americano.
I just want, and then she accommodated me well and giggled.
You want a venti hot Americano.
No, I want plain fucking coffee. I don't need
That's
all the
plain
other
fucking coffee.
Italian bullshit going on. I just need
that's
coffee.
just what they call it. A venti is
I don't
20
want
ounces.
No mocha, choca, fucka, whatever I don't know.
Venti is the size. That's 20.
No. Well, I want large, period.
That's the large. That is the large, dumbass.
You know, when you go to Massachusetts, you can say large, light, and sweet, or black. That's you don't have to
Not
say
if you
shit.
not if you go to a Starbucks in Massachusetts.
No, I'm talking about Dunkin'.
Well, if you go to Dunkin', it's just a black coffee.
Well,
and a large black coffee is 32 ounces.
So should I be concerned about tubes in my mouth? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well,
is that what it,
I'm saying is you wake up all the time with tubes in your throat. Yeah.
I've never shoved this thing down my throat. I'm a little...
Not that thing. That's not the thing that you shove in your throat.
Just a little nervous about it. Men are men and sheep are nervous, right? Is that where you are? So mass holes, yes. Massachusetts. Come on, I'm ready.
That's it. That's all the pieces.
That's all the pieces?
That's all the pieces.
Wow. Didn't you have some kind of Twitter bullshit I wanted to...
I don't know. Which of my mini Twitter bullshits are you referring to?
I don't know, but I referred to you at least 2 or 3 times this week, and I was very proud of myself for doing that.
You retweeted several of my
you didn't seem
attacks
to care.
at
That's all right.
Pave.
I don't know. Oh, Lance. Did you see Lance? Do you know who Lance is, by the way?
I don't know that I know who Lance is.
Where's Lance? Lance makes me laugh. I'm not quite sure that I know who Lance is offhand, but let me see.
Oh, Churchill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know him. He's a libertarian fella.
Well, I don't give a shit about that. I don't. Everybody each is on here. Where's my share? Hide my Pornhub.
Hide the clown porn.
Present Victor share screen. What did you retweet him for, Pippa? You know better than that. Haven't we talked about this?
When you're on, you're on. I mean, you did retweeted my Caleb video like 3 times or 4 times this week.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty fond of that one. I love it. A good example of a bad example is one of my best things I can ever think of, in my opinion. So Lance, is that big enough for you, sir?
It's fine.
You're going to read it anyway. I use that term loosely, but Victor share screen.
Sometimes I'm loosely a male.
Lance, Lance got me today. I almost had to unfollow and refollow him for this one because I thought it was good. I don't know who in your organization writes your tweets and threads, but the use of language to call out, humiliate, and shame people and organizations for their despicable, deceitful, and dangerous, if not criminal, misinformation is unparalleled. Keep up the good work. Just the biggest fucking kick out of that. That was a tweet that I myself couldn't have even done well.
Yeah, I'm
So,
just scrolling.
Nancy
Tobacco
Girl
harm
there.
reduction of Congo retweeted me.
What? Holy
Like
crap!
an
You're
entire African country tobacco harm reduction group from
all
from
four
Africa.
corners of the earth, all the way around
They-
the globe. Look at you.
They retweeted me because I presented an argument, claiming that Australia is stupid.
Well,
so let me see.
The people we love are not, but the Australian government. Yeah.
Well, some of them. I'm not going to
All the
include
60
all of the Aussies, but Paul is. Anyway, Australia created a huge vaping black market with its RX model, prescription model, for smokers trying a safer option. Now they make it harder to quit smoking. The threat vapors will get back. The threat vapors will go back to smoking is real. It's like taking methadone away from a recovering heroin user.
Isn't it?
But that got look at I got 10 likes. Let's see who liked me. So Dan liked me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Crowley, whoever that is, and Tobacco Harm Reduction of Congo, and Ken Heffernan, he's a photographer, and some
Ken,
loser
I follow
named
Ken.
Paul.
Why are you not following Ken?
I don't
You
know
should be
Ken.
following Ken. There's
And
Hunky
Hunky
Vape.
Vape,
You
who was
follow
in the
him.
chat room, they did.
Hunky, if I
Michael
don't message
Redfern?
me, and I will. You should
Do
be
you say I
following
need to
Ken.
follow this dude? So okay, I'll follow.
Yeah,
that guy.
Ken's one of these normal people, seemingly. I
Normal
do have
people.
I do have another to share with you. I think I am following Hunky.
And then I look, Tobacco Harm Reduction of Congo, they even retweeted me. And Queen Zali
know what I-
Zali, whoever
You know
that
what I
is.
say about that? Fucking A. Fucking A right. There you go. Now,
I don't know. I mean, an actual queen retweeted me, Kevin. Queen Zali Zali.
you're talking about me and tubes, and you got it. Anyway, so I'm going to present this as well. Now, if anybody in the room is not familiar with Mr. Clive Bates, you need to leave.
Who's that?
What? So,
I need to leave.
so I'm gonna. Well, I can't share it if you're not here. You. Goof.
I'm back. I wasn't gonna go.
Oh my
You
god!
can't chase me out
So,
of my own show.
I can't see you and it, so I have to go to it. So this isn't Clive. Now remember, it's not Clive that we're looking at momentarily.
That's Anita.
Anita has the gall or the balls or what, I don't know how to put it. Inspiring,
Well, I
honest,
mean,
and uplifting.
you-
Reflections
you
from
can't
Professor
assume
Mike
anymore.
Daub at the closing plenary of the whatever the fuck that is, the Prevention 2023 conference. A reminder of how resilient, patient, and tenacious, hey, I used that earlier, one needs to be to work in public health. And then you this is a veterinarian, by the way, who evidently I'm blocked by. I don't know. So it looks kind of Chipman, but it's a troll-like thing. And down here is yet a prominent blogger who disagrees with us about e-cigarettes tweeted that we are the world's top e-cigarette salesman. Now we come to Clive. Clive says, pitiful to see anti-vaping elitist. I wish I could see that because they're a veterinarian, I'm sure of it. Still
Olivia
claiming
Dahl,
victimhood.
DCS.
They're not victims. I don't know what that means. DCS. Dog cat specialist. I don't know. My 2014 tweet he refers to reacts to a petulant, pathetic smear letter by these professors attacking an ordinary vapor. I don't know if you know who she is. Who made her point in the Lancet.
She is a veterinarian, by the way.
Oh, Olivia.
Yes.
Okay. So Clive refers directly to his tweet from 2014, and it never ever read this. I'm going to flip this into the YouTube chat if I can get back on it, because it needs to be read by any of you. This is all I'm going to say is she's a waitress from somewhere in England, and you'll enjoy every second of it, because it's a takedown of these dumbasses. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let me get my YouTube thing.
It says right on her profile that she's interested in public health, walks, and tummy rubs.
Is she a he? Or I don't know. I'm confused.
It claims here that she is a she.
Where's
now? It doesn't have her pronouns listed, but
I gotta see if I'm blocked.
Yeah, she. I'm right on her thing. She's a veterinarian. She is a senior lecturer at a college of veterinary science, and a published author. I'm a published author. Kevin's a published author.
So am I. Nationally.
Yeah, internationally, I have written for publications that were disseminated in other countries. So therefore, I'm an international published author. Actual printed, not like on the internet like Kevin. Actual real articles.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Printed in multiple publications.
Yeah. Lorian is who I'm speaking of, by the way, for the little lady that's, well, I don't know if she's little or necessarily she's a lady.
You don't know.
I love her to death, and she spilled milk on her lap once, and it's still in my memes. But anyway,
what is Paul saying that is complete bullshit?
Which part?
I don't know. He says complete bullshit.
Patrick is nothing but a lady.
No, don't make me take my earrings off.
If nothing else. Mike Dobb is a mumpsitis mentor. Professor Chipman, you got to be politically correct.
Yeah.
50, and I did quote that tweet, not Clive's. I let Clive do what Clive does, because Clive is, the king of kings.
Clive is way better than you.
Oh my God, yeah. Is this the one that was 50 years? I had one that said
I didn't say that Olivia wasn't real. I said she was a veterinarian. That's what I said. I didn't say she wasn't real.
I don't understand how the veterinarian can be the expert at vaping, but okay. It's all right. I can't get to my own damn profile when it's this fucking tall.
Eliana is all over my feed right now.
Eliana. Anyway, somebody after 50 years has retired after doing all this work in tobacco control, and all I said was 50 years. That's impressive. Cigarettes are still around. Good for you. I don't know who it was now. They're retiring anyway.
Yeah.
Poofter. Talks like Tony Rubs. Oh, spicy and saucy tonight, are we? She is not a vet. Oh wow, that's even worse.
That's what it says on her thing. I just read you thing from her thing.
They're his
bio.
Friends. We don't know
her bio.
I'm sad that I'm blocked. I'm sad.
Who are you sad? Who blocked you?
Well, the Olivia girl thing. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure I was a smartass at some point, but
I don't think it's appropriate to say that the guy girl thing. Like,
I don't know.
I don't think it's appropriate to say that like that.
Person. Well, all right then, fine. That person. I don't know.
You might upset people. I'm just
Olivia is a female name. I thought. I don't know.
I'm getting canceled. I don't want you to get canceled, Kevin.
Hey, they're passing out donuts.
Here's a video of one of our friends on Sky News.
Oh.
So, I didn't download this one. This one is just scrolled across my Twitter feed. So let's watch one of our friends on national TV in Australia. Yeah, let's see. Let's go.
The federal government has mentioned its market of illegal vapes in its latest budget announcement. It's blamed for creating a new generation of nicotine addicts. The products will be stripped from convenience store shelves and dressed in plain packaging as part of the crackdown. But not everyone agrees that this is the right approach to tackling Australia's vaping crisis. One of those people is Dr. Colin Mendelsohn.
Crisis. Like literally, a crisis, is that?
I saw lab meat, rats mad lab meat. I don't know what you were doing.
What are you talking about?
At the very beginning, it says rats lab meat or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. I thought, what are you going to show us?
I'm going to show you Colin, our very good friend Colin.
Chairman of the Australian Tobacco Harm Reduction Association and author of Stop Smoking, Start Vaping. Thanks so much for your time, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura.
What is your problem with this announcement from Mark Butler?
Well, the problem we've got with the black market at the moment is the regulations that require adult smokers to get a prescription for nicotine for vaping. And the vast majority don't have a prescription, less than 10% in fact. So the response being we've created.
We have several Aussies in the chat room. Should I ask if they have their prescriptions?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bruni's here and Paul is here and Pip is here. I mean, do y'all have your prescriptions?
Better not.
I mean, I know that Colin probably would write you one if you needed one. I'm just, I'm wondering, I think, didn't Alex, didn't he retire? So I think, is he still able to write prescriptions? I wonder.
A huge black market, which is filling that gap and supplying illegal, unregulated products freely to young people. And that's been created by flawed regulations, and just doubling down on those regulations, unfortunately, won't solve the problem.
But this is really transferring what has worked with smoking, hasn't it? Plain packaging, higher taxes, that's probably to come on vaping, essentially making them less attractive and less affordable. Why wouldn't that work if you transfer that to...
You cannot prove to me this nonsense that she's just spouting that increased prices make nicotine or smoking or vaping
no
less desirable.
No.
I mean,
no.
Again, the cognitive dissonance is real.
Oh.
You cannot believe that this is the most addictive substance on the planet and then believe that a tax is going to make people not use it.
But Patrick, literally, I consider myself kind of smart. I know you don't, but I do. My opinion matters. I thought 10 years ago, almost in May the 3rd, coming up here, 5th, whatever. What it was, I don't even remember the day, but it's May. Janice and I stopped. 10 years ago, I thought nicotine was the most addictive thing in the world. I was convinced and brainwashed for 35 years of my life. So turns out I'm wrong.
I would have to. I mean, obviously now that you're in it and you've experienced this, you remember what smoking was like.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yes.
And you remember, like I mentioned earlier, the example of having just enough money in your pants, in your pockets, or in your wallet, or whatever, to buy a pack of cigarettes or to buy lunch,
feed the kids, have some Snickers. So it's feed,
most people would feed their kids and buy cigarettes and skip lunch.
Yes, I've done it.
So
100 times.
You're looking at your bank account and it's Thursday.
Yeah.
And you don't get paid until Friday, and you're looking and you say, okay, I have enough money to put a couple gallons of gas in the car, not even a whole tank. I can remember going to the gas station and putting $5 worth of gas just to get to work and back.
Conveniently, the cigarettes are right there as you go in too, because
And
that's
to
where
buy
you
a
need
pack
to
of
be.
cigarettes. I had $10 in the bank account. I could put $5 in gas and buy a pack of cigarettes.
Fucking right.
To last me until payday, which was the next day.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're telling me that you believe, as a tobacco control expert, if you believe this, that nicotine is the most addictive substance on the planet, how do you justify a price increase that you know is not going to reduce the cigarettes? It's going to reduce people's nutrition.
Right. Specifically.
People's ability to pay their power bill.
Right.
Because there will be people that make that choice.
Because, Patrick, they've systematically removed all dignity from humans.
I mean,
period.
Pippa said in the chat room earlier when I asked, in Australia, how are heroin addicts treated?
Right.
Are they treated with compassion and given the option of methadone treatment?
Right.
And she said yes. So they treat people addicted to heroin with compassion, but people that are supposedly addicted to the most addictive chemical ever, in their own words,
heroin and cocaine,
they treat them people like dirt.
Well,
they are
demonizing
demonized,
something,
dehumanized, separated from society. Go over there. Don't do that near me.
Go outside, you bastards! You smell.
You're a heroin addict. Here, let me help you shoot up. Here's some clean needles. And again, I am not like those are necessary steps.
Yes, they are. I've hauled those people. Yes, it is.
Methadone is necessary. Clean needle exchanges
and
are
it
necessary.
works.
And they should exist in every country. People that are addicted to anything, whether it's alcohol. Don't look at me.
You've
cocaine,
actually said
heroin. Those people should be treated with as humans.
I don't know that necessarily you were the one that said it. You probably weren't. But I will give you the credit for enlightening me in the words of meeting people where they are, because I'm sure that's been said by others 1,000 times. But
I'm sure I stole it from somebody else, but
you keyed that in on my brain. And as an example, I went to meet my brother Patrick. His name is Patrick.
He's probably a very smart person and handsome.
He's a smart motherfucker.
He doesn't look like you.
And my no, I'm the much better looking, much younger brother of those brothers. Janice has Alzheimer's, and he knows that. It's kind of a vague knowledge, but he knows. He's been around it somewhat over the years with family members and such.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, is there a certain place she wants to go? Is there something she would like? And I'm like, if she eats at all, she'll probably have a hamburger. Well, we chose Olive Garden in the end. She said, I don't care. I'm probably not going to eat anyway. And within a half an hour, she was like, I got to go. The smell sucks. It's too fucking loud. You guys are nuts. And she out to the car she went. She's fine. She's fine. Relax. So as I went back in, him and I were discussing the general level that she is. And it's hard to really determine that if you have someone that you love that has it, it's hard to determine. But day to day, most of the time, you won't even know it. But I knew in a social situation, it's gonna just take her brain.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a personal question about your wife.
Yeah.
So you have one son who is on the spectrum.
Yep.
Is it possible that she was maybe on the spectrum undiagnosed prior to? Was she a sociable person prior to this?
She wasn't anti, but she wasn't a social butterfly either.
Right. But her sensitivity to those things might have, definitely is probably higher now than it was before, for sure.
Way higher.
Well,
I think tolerable beforehand because she loves me.
I mean, I don't like those situations myself. I will go if we're at a party, I'll tolerate it for a little while, and then I go outside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, your words came out of my mouth, or the words I'm giving now with my brother was. And he is a smart guy. He's highly unmatched. Very rarely is he matched in wit or in brain. And I said to him that I have to meet her where she is, wherever we are, every single time. And his words basically were, well, fuck everybody else. You have to do what's right for her no matter what. And that's what it's the same thing to me. And thank you guys for indulging me momentarily, but you have to do that with kids. You have to do that with adults. You have to do that with people who have problems. Maybe you don't know they have the problem. You and I may sit down at a very quiet little booth restaurant somewhere with Janice and your wife, and we'll pick on you for 3 hours, and she might like it, she might not. I don't know the day. It depends.
Well, she's, I already know that she doesn't like me because, I've heard her say it.
Your wife or my wife?
Your wife.
Yeah, she's got enough sense to know that.
Yeah.
And some days she's fine. Most days she really is. But meeting someone where they are means my job is to keep her dignity intact.
Mm-hmm.
No matter the situation, it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit who's here or there or why they're wondering. If you have a question, you can ask me, but she's going to go to the car, and that's that.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. That's literally what I said.
Not to get
no big deal.
Not to get biblical, but there is one of my favorite passages in the Bible is a quote from Jesus, and I just had to go get it because it says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me."
There you go.
Right. And regardless of whether or not you're a religious person or that is as a society we're moving towards a more compassion driven model, right?
Yet
we should look at, we should be using that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you're claiming that you care about us unwashed masses, and you're including vaping in the same category as the most
bunch of
fucking
ne'er-do-wells
substance in the world, and you're treating these guys that are on the poppy or the heroin or the cocaine, you're fucking embracing the THC and marijuana, folks, with you're making that shit legal left and right.
You're creating two teenagers who can't get a scholarship to post pictures of themselves because they're insecure.
But yet these other people that smoke a cigarette, you're treating like trash.
You addict.
Damn smelly cigarette smokers.
I can't stand. I still am and consider myself a smoker. Period.
Once you're an addict, you're always an addict, Kevin. I mean, if you're
person that smokes,
if you go to AA, if you're in AA or NA or any of the 12 steps, you have to admit as part of your treatment that you will always be an addict.
Just like I'm always a cab driver.
You could be an AA and have your 20-year chip and fall off that wagon, and then you're right back in it.
Yep.
They treat those people with compassion.
When did it become socially acceptable to be socially unacceptable?
Well, I mean, I've been socially unacceptable my entire life, Kevin. I mean,
well, I have too, but in other ways.
I'm an outspoken white dude. We're the most socially unacceptable people on the planet right now. I mean,
but I'll pick on Pippa.
Not to get on that thing, but if you're a white dude right now, you're hated by everybody.
Well, I'm used to that. So Pippa used to smoke. Gasp. Oh, now she's a vapor. Oh, she's a vapor. Oh, right? Those
One
people.
of them.
Those people. You people. Fuck all that. Don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
I don't.
Let's finish. I mean, we're not going to play this whole 7-minute clip, but let's listen to Colin for a little bit more.
To vaping.
Well, we actually need to treat vaping products quite differently to cigarettes. These are substitutes and much less harmful substitutes for smokers who otherwise can't quit. So
Can I
we
just
want
pick you up on that?
Yeah.
Much less harmful substitutes.
Yes.
Why do you say that? Where's the evidence? And I'm talking about these disposable, colourful things that are made overseas. How do you know what's in them and that they are less harmful?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the black market. I mean, what comes out on the black market is another issue altogether, and we don't support that. And that
But that's what we're talking about here, Doctor. That is the problem, right? So if we could just concentrate on those colourful things that are bought on the black market, about 38.
Stay on the script.
Okay, so only the black market items are colorful? Like the...
Good night, Paul.
I mean, I'll hold up another $500 billet box. This is red. Look, this is pretty colorful.
Hey, I got.
Is this going to be
Post-it
banned?
notes.
I mean, this one's got like green splatter on it. I mean, it's black, but it's got green splatter. Is that? I mean, are we gonna be stuck to just like black plain looking things? I mean, because this one's pretty cool. It's got a mother of pearl button on it, but
your hat's colorful.
Yeah, look, this one's blue. I mean,
well, that kind of gets me all aflutter.
I mean, I'm humble bragging by showing 4 different billet boxes on the screen, but I'm just.
I like how she's trying to narrate his narration.
Like,
no, we don't want to talk about that.
I mean, let's be clear. The black market vapes that are being sold in Australia are the same ones that are legal in other countries. There's nothing distinctly different.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, literally. Troop is trying to trade me a Provari. I have like 7. Not to be a dick, I have an unopened Dragon Provari right over here.
Oh.
I mean, again, no humble brag, but Colin should have nipped that one in the bud. I mean, I don't want to dog. I love Colin, but he should have clearly said these black market items are not. These are not. Nobody's putting bad in them because that would be killing themselves. Why would the hell would you add something that you don't need to a product that you're manufacturing these in China? Every fucking thing is made in China.
Yep.
This chick is making it seem like, oh, well, it's from China, so it has to be bad. Everything is made in China.
Yeah.
Except for these.
And maybe
these
he will later.
These are made in Utah, but
Utah.
These are made in Utah. These are Mormon made, so these are. I don't know if they're actually Mormon or not, but your TVs, your cell phones, the car you drive, all of this shit's made in China. Why are you?
Furniture.
I'm not a fan of the Chinese government by any measure, but everything that
meat.
you consume and purchase is made in China.
They send meat to China to send it back. Let me repeat that. They send meat to China and then send it back.
I don't know why they would do that, because China owns the biggest pork producing company in the United States.
Well,
Smithfield Farms, which is, if you're buying a ribs, pork ribs, or anything in the United States, it's probably through, or hams. They're the biggest pork processor in the United States. I don't imagine that they're, because if it goes to China and then comes back, it has to go through inspection and set even longer.
Yeah.
But the U.S. government during the pandemic approved the sale of Smithfield to China, to the Chinese Communist Party. So yeah, I don't know if you knew that or not, Kevin, but yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway,
meat is shipped overseas, especially to China.
Well, we ship it to China because they're the largest pork users in the world.
Yeah, for processing.
The reason they bought it, the reason they bought Smithfield was because they wanted the pork for their own consumption.
Right. I don't know if they still do it, but
they wouldn't. No, it would be super cost ineffective and stupid, because, like I said, it has to go through meat, agricultural products that leave the country and go to China and then would come back, would have to go through an intensive inspection again at the border.
Well, yeah, I don't know the details.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
I'd have to open it up and share it with you, but it's to prepare and come back. I don't know why I knew that. I just thought it was a dumb little fact that I knew. I don't know.
I think I already debunked this one. I think you brought that up in a previous show. I think I already debunked it. It doesn't happen.
Oh, okay. Doesn't happen today. Right.
I would imagine it's never happened because it would be stupid.
Okay.
They own the processing plants here. Why would they send it over there to process and send back?
Right. Right.
They don't send livestock that way either, because half of the livestock would die during transit. But anyway, let's continue with Colin.
Smoking them. What is in them? Do we know what's in them and where they come from?
Made from China. They're not tobacco products. They're made from China and provided container load illegally to Australia. So what they're made of is the standard ingredients that are in regulated products, but there are more contaminants, more other chemicals that are unwanted. The analyses that have been done show that they do have higher levels of heavy metals, coolants, and certain other chemicals, but overall, they are smoking.
Yes, but do you accept that there's a whole generation of people that are picking up these vapes that would never have smoked in the first place?
No.
Look, what we know about youth vaping is that the vast majority who've never smoked are using these products experimentally and short-term. Frequent vaping is almost exclusively confined to young people who were already smokers. Very few of the non-smokers actually get addicted to nicotine, and we've got good evidence for that. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence, a lot of hysteria about vaping, and we don't want kids vaping.
No.
But in fact, what we're finding is that vaping is actually diverting kids overall away from smoking.
But do you accept that these kids would probably never have picked up a cigarette anyway? It's just not as sexy as it used to be. It's not as attractive as it used to be.
And most of them will vape briefly and then stop. And some of them who would have smoked would be diverted from smoking. So they've actually got a less of a risk of moving to deadly smoking.
So how do you know that?
Because of the research. So
where's the research from?
Well, for example, there was a study in Australia just recently published, and the health minister referred to it.
So this lady already has her mind made up. She's going after, like, well, how do you know this? Where is this? Who did this study? So she's immediately trying to find out if it's funded by a tobacco company or a vaping company or whatever. Well, how do you know this? Where's this science from?
1,000 15 to 30-year-old vapers, they found that only 8 out of those vapers were non-smokers who were using vapes more than once a week. In other countries, less than 1% of vapers are non-smokers who vape regularly. So the research shows that the use by kids is very different to what we're reading about in the media, that it's mostly relatively benign and short-term, and it's reducing smoking rates, and that's a good thing.
But Doctor, how can you say it's relatively benign and short term? I mean, you just told us, there's more heavy metals. We don't exactly know what's in these vapes. They're disposable. I mean, they're bad for the environment. That's a whole other argument. But how do you know that it would be short term when we're in the midst of this? I mean, is the evidence that the kids have started vaping and stopped, or?
Yes, there's clear evidence.
Yeah, but how do you know that they stopped, full stop forever? They wouldn't pick it up again because it's so easy to do.
We can't guarantee they won't take it up again, but we know that most of these kids try these products, kids who haven't smoked try these products because they're cool there. There's peer group pressure, they use them for stress, and we know that they use them short term, and there's been a lot of studies that have shown that.
One final question, because I don't think this is just about children as well, but anecdotal evidence, absolutely. But I think people watching us talk about this morning will all know someone that has taken up vaping and that they are highly addicted to it across all age groups. And they're not constrained, so they seem to be sucking on this vape all day. Because unlike smoking, you constrain, you can't do it indoors. Some people, are doing it first thing they wake up in the morning now.
Well, what we know, and there have been many studies looking at this, is that vaping is less addictive than smoking. And that's because there are chemicals in tobacco smoke that make nicotine more addictive, and also nicotine's delivered more quickly from cigarettes, and therefore it's far more addictive. So it's easier to stop vaping than it is to stop smoking. And although people use these products more regularly through the day, they don't increase their nicotine level because they adapt their vaping habit to get the nicotine that they need to prevent withdrawal.
I've got to say, Doctor, that doesn't seem to be the anecdotal evidence. Is there a chance here that research is out of date?
No, it's not out of date. There's ongoing research about the addictiveness of vaping products, and there's widespread agreement among scientists and agreement among the many research studies that have been done that these products, that there are various scales for measuring addiction and various ways of monitoring levels of addiction, and there's consistency across the research that these products are less addictive and easier to stop than cigarettes.
Okay. Doctor, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Laura.
She was not having any of that.
Nope. You're not saying what I want you to say.
How do you? I don't like what you just said, so I'm gonna try to divert the story away from that.
Let's change that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I feel kind of bad for the Aussies though, because a lot of the same nonsense that we were going through 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago is now over there, and they're.
It's almost as if all of our kids moved to Australia. It's almost the same numbers.
It's exactly the same numbers, according, because we did the story last week, but so this is a newscaster who has no healthcare credentials, no scientific credentials whatsoever.
No.
Throwing words out there like anecdotal and trying to get a sound bite.
Yeah.
Well, how do we know that they're never going to pick up an 18-year-old kid that vaped a couple times when they were in high school, goes 5 years and then picks up a vape or picks up a cigarette, for example. Oh, there's your gateway, Kevin.
Well, they didn't see those kids' pictures in Indiana, or they probably never would have started.
They vaped 5 years ago, one time, and 5 years later they were at a bar and picked up a cigarette, and now they're vaping led to them smoking.
Well, that's what happens. I'm sure it could.
We've got our proof now. There's our proof.
Might. possibly. Anecdotal. Lion whore.
Oh, we didn't say lion whore.
I know some people missed that last week.
I should have named the show Lion Whore, but I'm sure YouTube would have prevented me from naming my show Lion Whore. But
To tell
yeah,
the truth.
that Aussie chick is a lion whore.
Let her know, Pippa. Paul already left, or I'd tell him to do it.
Did Paul leave?
Yeah, he said he had to go to sleep or something. I don't know.
Oh, he was in the library, is what he said a while ago, that he was in the library.
I don't know what he's doing. It's hard telling. New flavor of Tic Tac, probably.
Library.
Library. Yes. Yes, Pippa. It's literally the same. It's the same exact thing.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, we actually talked about it on this show. When Stanton Glantz was in New Zealand.
Yep.
And we said, I bet you $10 he flew over to Australia while he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally we showed articles from New Zealand that were verbatim, except for the word Australia, like put in the place of, were Stanton Glantz talking points.
Yes.
Published at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And they were.
Yeah. And I can promise you that this, Australia might be like a petri dish. Like they're experimenting on different things. They experimented on the prescription model. Like, let's test it out over here in Australia.
Yeah.
Before we try to roll it out. Like plain packaging. That's where they did the experiment for plain packaging, was in Australia.
Mm-hmm. Collect them all if you want the other ones.
And the graphic warning labels were originally tested in Australia as well.
Lion
but
whores.
yeah, our talking points have been exported directly to Australia. And now not only are they also using our fucking talking points, now they're quoting American public health groups in Australia. Oh, well, America has this horrible teen vaping epidemic. According to the Cleveland Clinic, which was quoted in an Aussie piece just above, the American CDC proclaimed a vaping or not CDC, FDA proclaimed a youth vaping epidemic when it wasn't the FDA. It was the Surgeon General of the United States, Vitrick Murthy, the little bastard. Well, what do you mean? We've covered Bloomberg ad nauseum on this show, Pippa. Ad nauseum. We did a whole show. I think we called it Philanthrocolonialism. Bloomberg Philanthrocolonialism. We did it. We covered it even before Michelle Minton wrote a big article about it. Like she was on the show. I love Michelle Minton, though. She hasn't been around as much.
No, I haven't seen her on Twitter as much. I still quote her on occasion.
Everything that we cover will in 2 weeks' time be covered by somebody else.
Well, we've said some things.
Yeah, well, the Aussie government's not the only country that's done that, though. Bloomberg has contracts with almost every third world country in Central and South America and in Central Southeast Asia. So, yeah, they're not the only ones. He's spreading out his billions of dollars all over. I think last year, I think we covered it somewhere in the area of $700 million just last year. Yeah.
Well,
again, he's not only doing it through Melbourne University. He's doing it all over the world. That man is throwing money, Vital Strategies and all of his other little puppet orgs. Yeah.
Exposed tobacco.
He bought a seat in the Mexican Department of Health. He pays for someone to sit in their FDA, the Mexican FDA. He has his own office right in their in their building. He pays somebody to write their fucking public health regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if anybody ever had the balls to actually, other than the Philippines called him out, but I don't know that ever went anywhere. It would be ridiculous to, if these other countries just started like saying, hey, we're a sovereign nation. How is this outsider that's not a citizen of our country have so much authority and power in our country?
Right.
These smaller countries could just absorb all of his wealth, really, if they went after it. I don't think anybody has the balls to do it, but if they did,
don't talk about this.
Their budgets could be massive. They took all of his money away.
The where is my? I guess I'll have to go to Becky Freeman. That's Paul's girlfriend.
Somebody named Intricately Higher is now following me on Twitter. Intricately Higher. And their Twitter handle is @biochemical_day. They're an Aussie.
Oh, well.
They're in Melbourne.
Okay.
Ah.
So
we have another Aussie friend. Oh. They're cannabis people because they just posted a picture of a pomegranate bottle bong on their Twitter.
Okay.
And then there's an inappropriate picture of a man and a woman doing something, and it says, I love sushi. That's not appropriate. I can't show that.
For you guys who don't know, and I imagine all of you guys are well within the loop, anybody else that's watching this at a later time, I'm posting a discussion paper provided for the purpose of informing the consultation by invitation only, and it's not to be shared, distributed, or circulated.
Then why are you sharing it, circulating it?
Well, Clive started it. So there it is. Just because the Australian history goes back far enough that this was 2016 that he published this when it came across his face. And I find it amazing that so far they're doing pretty much what they wanted to do all along, just like the U.S. has. So, but if you didn't know, and I think all of you probably do, I'm not going to assume everything, but if you haven't seen that, see it now. There it is. There you go. Just one of those things, Patrick, which I'm sure you've probably seen it or read it or linked it or whatever.
At some point, I mean, if you're saying it's 2 years old, it's Clive. I probably
2016.
Yeah, so that's 7 years old.
Becky Freeman, Simon Chapman, and the other dumbasses of the yeah. They were talking amongst themselves. They didn't want anybody else to know what they wanted to do about vaping, because people, it'll be all right. We'll just figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
You silly twisted boy.
I like Peter Sellers.
Where is Benny Hill when we really need him? Slap Patrick on the back of his head and walk in, walk out. That'd be fun.
No, he always has the hot chicks, like he's chasing the bikini babes. That's the one I like.
No, I want somebody to come in, smack you on the back of your head, and then walk out with the song, with the sound.
I don't think Benny Hill actually ever smacked anybody. And
didn't he slap him on the head? Maybe they slapped him on the head. I don't know. I've seen it in years.
He's always chasing them, and they were always running away.
Well, slapping him on the back of the head.
Nowadays, that would be deemed inappropriate, over sexualization.
I long for the inappropriate days. I said that last week.
The male gaze.
Oh, Soap. Did you ever watch Soap? Are you old enough to remember Soap?
I remember Soap.
That was a great show. Billy Crystal was like brand new, really, kind of.
He was a baby.
Yeah.
He was a baby.
Yeah. Oh, Coral. There's another one. Coral and Ruth Pippa wrote something together that sort of might have said that maybe vaping, but we don't really like it anyway. So I kind of have a little more respect out of that for her, Coral, but certainly not Ruth, who's now since blocked me anyway. But
I think we should. Are we keeping a list of everybody that blocks people?
I couldn't.
We should see who gets a trophy for the most blocks, because astoundingly, I'm not blocked by people that other people are blocked by.
I follow Coral, I think, actually. Patrick, the list is long, and I can't remember the. Oh my God. I'd have to find it. Hold on.
Can we get
someone
Arnie
that's blocked by
Stallone or The
everybody.
Rock to do what for us? I just saw an article where somebody is suing The Rock for $1 billion.
Oh, good.
Because she claims that Rock and some other wrestlers, she was one of the female wrestlers, that some of the male wrestlers were trying to, and this seems like a very extravagant and impossible to prove case, was that he was trying to separate her from her children. And I was reading this article and I'm like, this just seems like it's going to be, but yeah. I mean, when you get to be like The Rock, people are going to just try to target you because you have so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the most blocked that I know of was someone with the handle DNGLOS, who is now Dave_LCSOG, but I don't think they've tweeted in some time.
No, the Scottish guy's probably got to be the most blocked.
And yeah, he's got one since March. So he's still around, but he's quieter.
I think he got banned. What's his name? Fergus.
Oh, yeah, I've got a tweet that says it may be more than Fergus.
Really?
I think he may be more than Fergus. I'm not positive.
I mean,
aside from one of the most blocked, I think Fergus is the one that has it. Then David was next. And he's quite, and Ed's got quite a list too, I think, if I remember.
But I think Fergus is it's not fair to Fergus because Fergus lost his fucking Twitter for so long.
Well, yeah, the original, but he's been reblocked so many times. He probably does still hold the record.
Yeah,
I'm probably about 10th or 15th in that line, maybe. I don't know.
I'm amazed that I get away
They
with
like you,
and so much I get away with because it took me forever to get Simon just to block me. And
I know
it could be
they
because
don't ask me.
I'm not an asshole. Like I don't use bad language. I
just tell
try
him to block you.
I mean, I'm surprised that TT hasn't blocked me.
I muted his dumbass. He put a comment under me about Clive trying to be slick about funding, and I'm like, I'm not. I unmuted you for about 2 seconds. Oh yeah, you're still stupid, and just left him alone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Tahir. Yeah. I mean, I have questioned Tahir's
he won't answer you
as
really.
as an educator.
I've asked him questions he won't answer.
He's supposed to be a university professor, but like he has 320 followers, and his claim to fame is that he designs public health social media campaigns.
Oh, he's a social political bullshitter. Okay.
Like according to his LinkedIn account, that's what he does is he creates social media, public health, social media campaigns.
So
if you're supposed to be some guru for social media and you only have 320 followers,
he's a lying whore.
How successful can you be?
Invite him on. He still hasn't blocked you. Invite him on.
I have just a little over 1,000 followers. I'm not a social media guru by any measure.
Maybe you and he should get together and have coffee.
he you know.
Ask him if he wants to come on.
I have, and
he ain't doing anything else.
I mean, you know, Kevin, I look at your social media. You have 15,000.7 followers.
I didn't know. I don't know.
I'm looking. You have 15.7 thousand followers.
Wow.
That's pretty good. You have 15 times as many followers as me.
15725.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're
damn. Well, let's pretend half of them are bots.
I got an email from Twitter asking if I would be interested in monetizing my Twitter feed, and I only have 1,000 followers. Did you get an email asking if you would like to monetize your Twitter feed?
I don't look at my emails because everybody wants me to buy stuff, and I'm tired of that. So I don't. Nor if it's somebody I can see.
You could possibly be making money.
If it's if someone I like messages me and I see it, I grab it and I look and I do my thing, but then other people bump them down and then I don't see the ones because I'm like, well, I don't see anybody that I know and I'm not going to open those. So you're gonna have a hard time getting me on if you direct message me on Facebook, that's the best, but I'm not that important.
Yeah,
anyway,
Twitter's
so
not. Elon is not going to use
Zuckerberg's
platform to message you.
If I did, I don't recall it. I don't remember seeing it.
I know another guy that now he has 100,000 followers.
Yeah,
said that he got a similar email and they estimated that he could be making $5,000 a month.
Oh, then I better look at my damn email. Huh?
Yeah, I mean no, I was wrong. He only has 59,000 followers, so more than you. But if you could be making $1,000 a month off of your Twitter feed just from ad placement, you should be.
Oh, they do the ad placement. I don't have to do.
Yes,
shit?
no, they just will add they'll just add an advertisement in the middle of your Twitters.
Don't cost
like
me
in
shit.
The responses. Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing about us. We're live. We don't have any ads, do we? When
Other than the advertisement we did for my T-shirts a while ago and for the vape.
No, I mean on the replays. I've not noticed. I've only watched a few.
No. I don't have enough followers to actually monetize my YouTube. You actually have to have over 1,000 followers on YouTube to monetize, and I just have just over 100.
I'll try. I'll see.
I have 199 followers on YouTube. So
let me see.
We're not big enough fish to worry about ad placement in our YouTube.
Well, I'm going down here. Like we recently put out an episode. How are you doing? Are you a reviewer? There's people I love and know.
Oh no, I get tons of those. I mean, I get private messages on all. I haven't opened my there was an art auction for a couple comic book artists that I like, and one of them did a Johnny Quest piece, and I bid on the Johnny Quest piece and I won it, and because I'm a nerd and but he only has Instagram, so the only way that I could send him my address was I had to open my Instagram to send him my address, and I had like thousands of notifications because I don't ever open Instagram. I've given up on Instagram. Right. Like I tried to do vaping advocacy on Instagram, and I would put a lot of thought into making memes and all sorts of stuff for Instagram, and got no advocacy interaction on Instagram. So I gave up on Instagram.
Yeah. I'll look this week and see if I can do that just to see, and it'll
just scroll down.
A huge experiment.
No, I mean if they want to,
because the people,
dollars, I mean shit. You should
the people that actually follow me for whatever bullshit I put out are still gonna, and the others won't, and that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll see, just for fun, just to check. I don't know if I'm big enough or whatever, and who knows.
No, I need to figure out. We need to figure out a way to make one of the things that they say to suggest to grow your YouTube following is to start making these YouTube shorts.
Right.
is to figure out a way to chop pieces of our show down into.
Oh, you got plenty of that.
1 minute sound bites to put
Lying
on.
whore. Moist, warm air. You got thousands of sound bites. Thousands by now.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
why not?
But
Try
to
it.
break it down, because they can only be like a minute, I think, or something.
Well, you got to, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's an instant society, Patrick. They can't pay attention for more than that.
for
Except
for
our
me to
lovely
break down
followers.
like an awesome bit that from our show, they're all going to be over a minute long.
Well, no, but you could take the vaping safer than smoking, but so what? You can add 3 or 4 little quick quips and just go bam.
That
Look
would
at you.
require more effort than I'm really interested in to put it. I enjoy my Friday night bullshit sessions. I don't know that I want to go to all that kind of trouble.
If you could find a clip saying that I may, could, or might like you, I doubt you will, but you might.
I have video of
You can
Charlie saying
find-
he doesn't like either one of us. I could make that into a.
I fucking love that one. You could find plenty of other bad ones, but that would be good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So get really
Watch the
close to
magic
your
grow.
microphone. Get really close to
Why?
your microphone, Kevin.
Why?
And say moist air.
Makes me uncomfortable being this close to this thing, but all right. Moist air. We need Michael to do that. Mike would be
No.
better
That's
at
different than ASMR. ASMR, you're supposed to be very relaxing and breathy when you're talking.
You know he could.
I don't. Mike disappeared. I'm
moist air.
I'm not going out of my way to pull people back in that have evacuated. I'm not doing that.
Warm, moist air. Flavored moist air. I forget. I'd have to look at the quote.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like.
Moist.
I'm
No, it's moist flavored air. Moist flavored air. There you go.
We're gonna
That's the
make
best I
a
have.
T-shirt that says that. I'm gonna find
What
the
was his
right
name?
graphic of Kevin, and I'm gonna just say moist flavored air.
Moist. What was his name?
I don't know. Oh, you're talking about the guy that what's his name? Nick was giving credit for inventing the whole thing.
Gilbert called it moist flavored air on the. I've got the patent, so yeah. Warm, moist flavored air.
Oh, now you got to say warm.
Let me find the. I'll throw it in the chat.
Warm, moist flavored air.
Warm, moist flavored. I have to see it first to make sure that I quoted it correctly. For God's sake, I didn't want to.
I haven't used the mech mod in a long time.
I lied. Heated. Moist flavored air. I will hold on. I will let me throw the patent in first because I want everybody to be able to find it if they want to, and then I will share with the Victor screen.
He did have a patent, but his patent was completely different. Like it didn't use the same technology that Han Lick's did. His technology was so it's not like Han Lick is derivative of Gilbert's at all. It's a completely different application of technology.
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Where's my? There we go. Present the Victor share screen.
Present.
So even I've lied. There we go. I think. There you go. Oh, let me rub it. Let me rub my moist flavored air.
Get the fluffer in here.
Heated, moist flavored air. That's what it is. Now, it may say warm somewhere else, or I don't know where I got the warm from because I put moist flavored air on that tweet. But it says heated, moist flavored air. or by inhaling more medication into the lungs as respiratory, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. That's what it was. I'm going to be accurate when I.
So actually, I get now, since somebody brought up cloud comps, and I mean, Mowgli brought up cloud comps. So
I missed it. All right.
A fad that has come and gone, like cloud. Nobody's done a cloud comp in 5 years that I know of.
Right.
But that would be recreational vaping, I guess. When we brought it into that sort of area that gives them license to wash or to paint the entire thing,
right,
as a recreation. Snooze comps, why are they messy? You don't spit snooze, you swallow. Kevin, do you spit or swallow?
Nah. Yo, sure. I'm looking for Herbert's thing. Anyway, it ain't important.
No, yeah.
I don't. We talked about.
I mean, they're not messy because, I mean, obviously, if it was like Skull Bandits, which was chewing tobacco in a little envelope, you spit those.
Well, yeah.
But a very similar design is the snooze. They're in a little sealed packet, but it's pasteurized powder or pulverized powder. You don't swallow that. You just or you don't spit that. You swallow it. You just let it.
Heated, moist, flavored air.
Mallory is getting dirty in the chat room. First, she's talking about
naked on a
the
desk,
principal's desk, doing Rorschach blots, and now she's.
Oh my God. I do enjoy my Friday nights most of the time, except I got to be with you, and it ruins it, the whole everything. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I
got my eyes. This is a scam, Kevin.
Okay.
So I had doctor's appointments every day this week. So yesterday was the eye doctor appointment. So I switched to a new insurance. The company I work for was purchased during the pandemic, and this is the first time that I've used my new eyeglass insurance.
Right.
So the old eyeglass insurance was really good, and I pay for the upgraded eyeglass insurance that is offered by my new employer.
Right. Understood.
However, I go to get my eyes checked, and the doctor's like, "Yeah, your prescription needs to be changed a little bit." Blah blah blah. So I go out to start picking out frames for my new glasses, and I say to the girl, because you have what's called a frame allowance.
All right.
So they allow a certain dollar amount for your frames, and anything over that dollar amount you have to pay. And you get a 20% discount on the overage. So my frames were like $290 or something, which is a fucking scam because we know, just like watches, the company that owns Swatch owns literally 98% of the watch making industry. So the company, there's one company that owns literally every almost literally every eyeglass brand. If you're buying what's Ray-Bans, if you're buying Ray-Bans, or if you're buying Oakley's or whatever. And then obviously Gucci and all the name brand Prada, all those have labeled eyeglass. They're all made by the same fucking company.
Yeah.
You could literally, and I did this. I found an off-brand, like a non-name brand frame that is identical to Ray-Bans, except it doesn't say Ray-Bans.
Right.
And the lady's like, yeah, they're made. They come from the same place.
They're the same. Yeah.
But anyway. So then, since I wear progressive lenses because I have fucked up eyes, I have to buy what's essentially a trifocal. I have 3 different prescriptions in each eye.
Yep.
If I had single vision, my lenses would have been like literally like $50.
Yeah.
But since I have progressives, my lenses are like $300.
Mm-hmm. So hands, yeah.
And your insurance covers X number, whether you have the need for readers or if you have the need for single vision, or it's the same dollar amount. So us people that have bad eyes, I had to pay, my portion of the bill was $480. And then they give you the itemized bill that tells you what the insurance pays. My fucking glasses cost $1,200.
Holy shit.
So I said to the lady, I said to the lady, what happens if somebody comes in and needs eyeglasses that doesn't have insurance?
Yeah. Oh, they pay 12, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit. And now the previous insurance that I had was a different insurance plan, different company. My frame allowance was higher. I didn't have to pay for like the polycarbonate lenses. I didn't have to, all that was built into my insurance.
Right.
All that shit I had to pay for.
Wow. Still. Wow.
This is ridiculous. I said, give me a copy of my prescription. And the lady's like, why? I said, well, normally I have 2 pair of glasses. I have like my everyday ones that I wear at work. They're the nicer ones. And then I have a pair that I wear when I'm not at work that are cheaper because my vision, they don't have to be perfect.
Yep.
And I can get them from a cheaper supplier. And she looked hurt. She looked hurt.
Of course. Well, yeah, absolutely. You can't know my trade secrets.
So I'll go online and put my prescription in. And pay like $200 or $300 for cheaper ones. Yeah.
Janice had eye surgery, cataracts, both eyes. Wasn't happy about it, but she was a trooper, and now she only needs reading glasses. But it's not permanent forever. It still will, come back or whatever they said. But she was like. She was like the pop bottle glasses when she was a kid, even. So they've always been bad. So for her not having glasses at all, she did wear contacts for a time.
Mm-hmm.
She was really happy about not having to fuck with them, and then she needed the readers pretty quick. But
now, when I was a kid, I had lazy eye, so they made me wear an eye patch on my strong eye to make my weak eye stronger.
Right. Yeah.
So I can remember having, and people picked on me when I was a kid because I had to wear the fucking.
Yes,
so my mom had cataract surgery like 10 years ago, and they made her wear an eye patch for like a month.
Yeah.
So all of the pirate jokes in the world, like I was relentless.
What's the black flag?
I'm going to get you a parrot to perch on your shoulder. I'm going to start calling you Peg. Peg leg.
That's hilarious.
But, all right, Kevin. How do you want to say goodnight to all of our friends and Pippa?
Keep your and everyone else's dignity around you intact, in place. Stop fucking around. Tweet. It's 2 things. It's lying whore, and what was it? Heated, moist, flavored air. That's all I got. That was for you, Pippa.
I mean, every time we see these stories about kids being victimized, and there is no other word for it. We need to be calling these people out. Not only, I mean, we should be tagging. They need to
be arrested.
We need to be tagging the fucking schools. We need to be tagging if the parents' organization, the PTA in that school district has a Twitter, we should be bombing the shit out of them as well.
And whatever happened to the ones that we've already done?
We should be calling out Matt Myers. There's a reason why Matthew Myers doesn't have a Twitter.
Oh yeah, of course.
But we should be calling Pave out on this nonsense, because the reason these kids are being targeted, the reason these kids are being molested, that there is no other word for it. If they are being strip searched and told
that's molestation to me,
to pull their bra away from their body, or to roll down the waistband of their panties.
Yep.
They should be charged with molestation. I mean, if a man were to drag a kid into a van and pull their clothes off,
just to that point, right,
they would be arrested.
Just to that point, exactly. But because you have an administrative title,
to the same standard as some junkie rapist on the street.
Yep.
I mean, literally, this has gone out of hand. I mean, that Twitter thread that I have has like 30 different stories of kids being tased, hog-tied, strip searched, photographed in the toilets. I mean, all of this should be criminal.
Why is it acceptable? Why is it acceptable? Period.
It is not acceptable, and we need to be calling them out on it. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I challenge you, because I guarantee you in the next week or two, there's going to be another story of another kid that's been strip searched and feels dirty and targeted. And I guarantee you now that they got their success because some little kid, some girl that didn't like that other girl, reported to the teacher, I saw such and such vaping. She put it in her underwear. That more people are going to be doing this. This is more mean girls are going to be doing this. I mean, the Heathers, for those people in my age group that remember the movie Heathers.
I used that meme a little while ago. I actually used that fucking meme.
They're now that they saw that it was successful, they're going to be doing it, and they're going to be victimizing other children. And the educators, the smart ones, are going to be asking questions, but the idiots out there, the ones that would have victimized the 10% anyway, they're going to be doing it. So we need to be vigilant. We need to be ready, and we need to attack, because this is not cool.
The caregivers and takers have all closed their eyes. I can't say that enough. Stolen quote.
In my world, I would lose my license for taking a patient's dignity away from them.
Exactly.
And these educators are being rewarded for stealing the dignity from these children.
I'm not sure that we can. I don't know how I can encapsulate the anger. I really don't. So,
anyway, we'll see you in a week. Have a good one. Bye.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.